Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Hold on. Okay.
And we're back. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? We good? We good? Cool, cool, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jedi by 7 Movie News Show. I'm your host, Jedi Mike 7. Hope you have a fantastic day. We have a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm here with my co-host, Jay King. Jay King, how you doing?
Doing good and doing good. And yeah, we definitely got a lot to discuss. Like a lot to discuss for this week.
Yeah. Before we get into it, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Make sure that you guys hit the notification bell on your way out, and make sure you also tune in to the next videos that we're going to be dropping on the channel. We do have some videos coming up very, very soon. But yeah, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, or it's almost going to be coming Thanksgiving. It's November. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. New shows. We have season finale of shows, and we got season premieres of some new shows. So, but the first one we're actually going to be going into is actually Gen V. Gen V, the Boys spinoff show that came out on Amazon Prime, has now been finished with its final or 8th episode. Now we know it's not going to be the final. It's not going to be the final episode of that show, because we know it's going to be getting a season 2 that has been confirmed already. Now, Jay King, what was just your first or your thoughts about the overall season so far as we get up, before we talk about the finale?
Well, before the finale, like I just been enjoying the heck out of this show. Again, like this is how you do a proper spinoff for like because again, like we know this is in the boys universe, and especially thanks to this finale we finally get to see even more connections than there were before. But it was just good because it's like it felt like it could stay in its own side of the boys universe, but yet it had so much interconnectivity that it set up so much for what most likely is going to be the plot of season 4 of the boys. And overall, outside of that, it was just really good show with a really good cast, really well written, good action, great CGI when they hit their superpowers in all those moments. No, just again, a show that had a lot of love and a lot of passion, you know, for something that didn't have a lot of importance or craziness in the comics for the boys. They made it their own thing and they made it great.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I felt while watching this show, I was really anticipating for them to actually get, again, this is a spinoff show. Like, what were they going to do differently that's actually going to be and somewhat not only just impactful in terms of the overall story, but more importantly, making sure that it's just delivered, in all cylinders with uh, with these new characters are not really have any influence in the comics, whatever, but because they just have good writing, that we're able just to understand them and see them now in a very new and complex way, though. But I gotta say that they delivered. They knocked it all flying colors, and I'm anticipated for the new season of Gen V, and definitely this finale was a lot of shocking things that I was hoping for, and also a lot of things that I was anticipating was going to happen did happen, and things I did not expect happen actually happened. So, J King, what do you want to go into just recapping a little bit of the episode? We can get right into it.
Well, I mean, basically, what went just to summarize it, like in the fastest way possible, after with Shetty, Kate and Sam decided, F this, we're gonna go free everyone in the woods, which they do, and it turns Godolkin University into the scene of a crazy soup frenzy as the soups in there are basically killing anyone at the campus who's not a soup. If you're not a soup, if you are, you're safe. And it's up to, basically everyone else to stop them, to save everyone, save the people. Again, they're not doing this to save the people of Vought. They're doing this to keep the carnage from going haywire. They're keeping this from getting even worse than it already was. And again, it was getting worse. We got people with their faces getting burned off, people's heads exploding, all that stuff. And it all ends with Kate, at the very least, getting stopped for a moment until Homelander showed up and kicked Marie to the curb. We cut to black and basically, yep, basically soups versus humans. But yeah, we cut to black and then they pin it on like our main protagonist, Jordan. Jordan there, but like they just all were blamed for it, and then Kate and Sam were seen as the heroes, the new guardians of Godolkin, while Marie and the others are most likely trapped under Vought Tower, or somewhere else, like some, I'm guessing, secondary place of the woods. But yeah, that's where they end it. Outside of the post-credit scene showing Billy Butcher, finding out about the woods, as I expected, he was probably going to be the person that got called on like the other episode ago. But yeah, that's basically what happened, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Again, now when we find out that within this episode that Kondoking University, which we already know was actually just a template used to study soups and everything. I hope I'm not frozen. I probably am.
You were, and you were looking intensely. You were looking intensely at at Gen V over there.
Yeah, hon, I have issues with this camera. Sorry for technical difficulties, guys. Like I'm looking on my end that I'm look okay, but I'm looking on the YouTube stream is not. That I'm trying out this new camera I got. No, I was actually thinking that with this, what they were trying to do with Kondoki University and studying these soups and everything, that it was going to be something unique and interesting, and to find out that no, they're actually studying to how to defeat them, how to stop them and everything. And I think I feel is really interesting again, because also you're seeing in different layers these characters now being like, listen, we're just kids, we didn't ask for this, right? And now it's getting to a point of us versus them, between humans and soups and stuff like that, which is what Homelander was trying to do earlier in like season 3 with that conversation, talking about soups lives matter. We know this show is getting heavily political. We know this show is getting more in terms of I'll say meta, because like some of the conversation they're having in these shows is still what we're having right now in the real world. But again, what they were able to do is just that make these characters very multi-dimensional, and what they pay off in the finale, even though some things were not resolved, they do leave you anticipating more as we get into the Boys season 4. Now we do know that the Boys season 4 is coming out. It's already been shot. It's going to be coming out, I believe, sometime of next year, around the same time when I believe when Invincible season 2 part 2 comes out. The second half of Invincible will come out, because right now Invincible half of Invincible season 2 is premiering right now, episode by episode each week until the rest of the year, and then we'll get the second half beginning of next year. So that's what's going to be happening. I just asked, so what was your thoughts again on just that some of the cast members? I believe I forgot her name, but the girl that touches people, I forgot her name.
Kate.
Yeah, Kate. That basically now she's basically having a turn in this episode, now going on full vigilante against the very system that she was been trying to serve under, whether it be manipulated, whatever, throughout this whole season. And now she's going.
I mean, it's just crazy seeing her. Like, again, she literally went down a downward spiral, because like she was doing this for what she thought was the correct reason, but now after learning what Shetty did, learning about the pills and all that, basically turning her it's almost in a sense of like just turning her rage onto like the whole world and making her almost in a sense no less different than Homelander, which is no surprising why he probably is the one that propped her and Sam up on a pedestal after all this all was said and done. You know, she basically went from someone who was doing wrong things but for the right reasons or somewhere along those lines to just, you know, the line is kind of blurred. She's just like, whatever about it. You caused me pain, so I'm gonna cause the world pain. And it's just like, dang.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And again, this is whole. It is based on the whole concept of hurt people. And which again, I think what they were doing with that show is that again, like each character, their motivation is that they're having a reason why they're doing this. But and now you have multiple people at play. You have Victoria Newman involved. You have now Vought is still getting heavily involved now. At the end, you see now this whole group of of college students, whatever that was, now banded together for this issue. Now you're seeing they're taking different sides now. But it's also coming from a place like I understand the decision why they're making it. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, it's frustrated just in terms of creating conflict. But at the same time, I understand why these people are doing it because they have been through a lot by the corporation, by Vought, and they want to take it down, or just by people that just don't like them. So, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. But yeah, no, for me, I really, again, I got shouts to the writing of the show because again, yes, there was a lot of Easter eggs that are basically setting up in terms of the actual boys comic, which is what goes into the disease aspect of it, right? Disease actually that's targeting soups only, right? And we see I forgot the lady's name, the dean of the school that basically wanted to kill all suits just because her family got killed during the plane crash where Homelander took down, right? And and she doesn't see nobody different. Like if you're a suit, then you're part of the enemy, right? Now we're seeing the at the end of the season that some of the boys are basically finding out, or at least with Butcher, he's gonna basically discover that disease. Now, whether he can use it for his benefit or the benefit for other people, we should find out. Now, I know what happens in the comics though, which I'm really happy to see what they're going to be doing with this. Because again, this is going to cause a lot of conflict with everybody involved,
Hmm.
even on the boys and on the seven, everything. So, but yeah, what was your
Yeah.
your thoughts on the aspect of again this new disease now being brought into fruition now, contagious yet? Yes, this I believe they didn't get to a point of it being airborne, but they do have a disease of targeting soups.
Yeah, they didn't get it airborne. They just got it where it's like, if you're in close contact, it will get to you. But yeah, as soon as I knew they got to that part, as soon as I knew that they got to that part of the disease, and as soon as, Vought, you know, or not Vought in a sense, but like, our good old other head popping soup got her hands on it, I knew this wasn't just going to be a problem for them. I knew that this was setting up setting up the boys season 4, and 100%. As soon as Butcher showed up at the end, I was like, okay, yeah, we definitely know where this is going. Season 4, that's the next Soldier Boy. That's the next plan to take down Homelander. Butcher's gonna try and get his hands on it, but I think it's going to be in a sense of like this is really going to divide the characters even more because it's like, yes, someone wants us to get rid of the likes of Homelander and those like him, but then at the other sense, it's like this could kill the rest of us, the rest who are not all, jerks like Homelander. So it's going to cause that kind of conflict of what do you do if you do, what do you do if you do get your hands on this virus and you're not infected and all that? What do you do if you do get your hands on it? That's what I'm really going to be interested in seeing when it comes to next season of The Boys. And I'm especially going to be interested to see if any other stuff from Gen V gets picked up. Like if Butcher potentially hears about, the kids and potentially finds where they are, or if that's going to be if they're going to stay there until season 2. Like that's what I'm wondering.
Right. I think well, because again, it's not just with Butcher. You also have, um, Hugh. It's Huey, right?
Huey, yeah.
Um, yeah, Huey. You also got Starlight, and you also got the female, like Benchy, like there's the Mother's Milk. There's other people that
Mhm.
this can basically add into into Boys season 4. One thing I do know for a fact that's confirmed that the Boys season 4 will take place about a couple of days after
Yeah.
um after the Boys. Wait, are you seeing me
I,
on
I,
camera?
I see you, but you're still frozen, and you're looking at me intensely, and I'm just
I
like,
don't know what. Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like I see myself on like StreamYard, but it's not showing me on here on the YouTube.
mhm.
Okay,
But yeah,
all right.
yeah, like it'll take place a couple days after the ending of Gen V, so it's like the whole Godolkin mess is gonna be super fresh. Like the second we get back into the boys season 4, like once that starts, it'll be like right after. So we'll probably even see some of our main characters from the boys react to that whole stitch. There you go. We see you now.
Okay, yeah. All right. Can I? All right, now you get it. I just got out now. All right, now you guys can see me, and I hope you can hear me.
great,
All right, cool.
great Bill.
We all good.
Great Bill. You got that dust there.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. No, I was no, I was making sure I had these two cameras though, but still have this angle that you guys, I guess, guys can still see me. Cool. All
Mhm.
right, cool. Now, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. But anyway, so she know what that look is for. Anyway, now I will say
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I think you're frozen. So this is what happens. See, this is what happens. You know, I put it in there like swimwear. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, you frozen, J King. Yeah, it's okay. But let's hope when he gets back frozen, then we get back. But yeah, so I actually again with Gen V episode 8, I want to talk about the big one when Homelander shows up. Now listen, now with Homelander showing up at the end, it's like okay, you have the superhero music showing up, but then all of a sudden it the melody switches down into a a deep into a very menacing theme, and to a point like you don't know what's gonna happen, and it's like yeah, it's about to go down, and then when you see basically Homelander, basically going having a moment of like talking me up. Yeah, exactly. Like exactly, Lucas. But yeah, but when we see that and when the let me see, I'm sharing the screen. Excuse me a second. Sharing screen. 1 second. There we go. All right. Yeah. So because that was definitely was the highlight of this episode was when Homelander shows up, but when he's still going on the supremacy mindset of like saying that hey, the supes are the superior beings, and because that conversation that happened with A Train, because A Train from season 3 of the boys killed someone else, another supe, and he didn't like that. Now when you see Marie basically taking out Kate, I believe, and now you basically walk into the scene. They framed the entire then that entire group of cast members and basically make the new heroes of the Kadulkin the people that were basically experimented on and used by Bot. And so now, what does that mean for Homelander? Because Homelander doesn't really need anybody now. Does he need more allies or whatever, just for PR purposes? Possibly. But again, I think that the fact that they are still going to be using uh, the Gen V characters moving forward. Hopefully, we get to see Marie and other characters in the Boys season 4 and get some context about what's going to happen next. I don't know what another story of Gen V in terms of the season 2, because like the cat's out of the bag. We know what's going on. So whether it's just another derivative of the story going on the Boys storyline and not. I don't know, but again, I really enjoyed the characters of Marie. I was really intrigued with the character of Jordan, because again, this show tackled a lot of issues that college students go through, especially with mental illness and addiction and sometimes eating disorders or whatever. I mean, but using the superhero element to actually exemplify that in a new way, transgenderism in a very unique way, which I'm still surprised that the boys even did that. And I'm like, with the character of Jordan, but now it's all tying up to the boys season 4. Now we don't know how many seasons that the boys going to get. I'm thinking it's about to be about 5 seasons, because the point where they're getting to, if you read the comics, we're getting to the White House, we're getting to a political election, we're getting to January 6th. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Jay, can you there? Hold on a second. You there?
I've been pulled through time.
Oh, okay. Got you. But we're gonna go to the next topic though. Yeah, we're going to next topic though. But what let's know in the comment section down below your thoughts on the Gen V season 1 finale. Let us know in the comment section down below. Now, the next one, before we get into the main topic, which is why y'all here. There was a new show that came out. That I was very excited. I was able to watch the first 4 episodes and everything of this new season. And but just as again, if you got this person name, just remember, regardless, you think you can beat him. Just remember, he's that's right, y'all. We're gonna talk about now. I don't know about y'all, but I love
Okay, I think they get the point. I think they get the point. I think they know that he is.
yes. Oh yeah. Oh look at Gray Pill. Look at Gray Pill. He said he's clipping this. Yeah. Nah. Listen, we've been down to the YouTube. We've been down the YouTube streets of folks trying to clip some stuff without some legal action going on here. Copyright's a thing, even though I stole it first. But yeah.
and if they think they're gonna do it to us, just remember, we are both.
All right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Don't let me bring the whip out. But anyway, so, so Invincible season 2. Jay King, what was your thoughts on Invincible season 2? Episode 1.
I know. I am glad to be back within this freaking series. Now, in between season 1's ending and season 2, I read the entirety of the Invincible comic, so I know a few things that are coming, or at least will most likely get adapted. I'm not going to say what, but I am so happy to be within this arc with our new villain, Angstrom Levy, and the potential that this man has, and the threat that it poses to Mark, and what it might lead to in the second half that I'm hoping I'm correct about. But yeah, straight out of the gate, just the whole thing of like the first couple minutes, we're just confused and we're like, oh wait, now it makes sense. This is an alternate reality where Mark accepted Omni-Man. And but at first you didn't know that. At first I thought it was just him and Immortal sparring until Nolan showed up. I was like, oh wait, yeah, I think I remember this. And yeah, we see an alternate universe, one of many, where Mark ended up taking his father's offer and they invaded Earth, basically took over everyone. And in this universe, we meet this world's version of Angstrom Levy, as well as seeing this world's robots, Adam Eve, and a bunch of them trying to just survive and trying to find some way to take down Omni-Man and Invincible. doesn't work. Some of them get killed. Some of them are just put into like a state where they wish they were dead. And before Angstrom Levy of that Earth gets killed, a big old Rick and Morty portal opens up and snatches him out of there. And as we later finds out, it's from the Prime. I'll just say Prime Earth. Angstrom Levy taking his doppelganger on a quest of trying to do something better, but it's just going to end up in something worse. But I will say, picking up from what I'm guessing is, from what was only like a few weeks to like a month after the events of season 1, like especially that ending is just like, damn, like you could feel, especially with Karma Police playing, it's just like you can definitely feel like Mark is still like. I think that's going to be the main thing about the season. Is he going to become like his father or not? So that's the main thing he's got going on his head. Is he going to become like his father or not? Which I know the answer, but
right. We know the answer to, but I think again now the concept, and before we get into the concept of the multiverse, right? This is a new thing that gets dropped in terms of this season. That we've seen the topic of multiverse in other storylines before. Now,
and I already know that when it comes to the multiverse, a lot of people already have their eyes rolling like again, because so many studios have used it at this point. So many studios have used it, but hey, it's just the year of the multiverse. I don't know what to tell you. It's just coincidentally the year of the multiverse.
Yeah, I know, but it's like everybody loves the multiverse, right?
Right. That dude, but yeah.
Again, because like we understand when it comes to multiverse, other properties and everything, especially, we can all be like in a firm agreement that, when it comes to multiverse, Marvel, especially Marvel, they've been killing it.
You serious?
I mean,
Stop right now. I mean, Marvel Sony has killed it, but
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, no. So, but again, Invincible season 2, knocks all cylinders, just like with The Boys. Amazon Prime, or I should say Sony, is killing it. Because Sony also is connected to Amazon and the distribution of The Boys and Gen Z.
So Sony's killing it on two fronts right now.
And Sony's also doing Spider-Verse. So in other words, in terms of superhero content, Sony's killing it. Sony's is killing it. Everything. So but yes, but with Invincible season 2 specifically, one thing that I appreciate, and before you get into a tease of, in terms of the multiverse aspect of this show, you get in terms of like alternate universes of, of some of the characters you already know. But again, with the main universe, or the main person we're following right now is with Mark Grayson after the aftermath of Omni-Man and the destruction that he did and everything. Him and his mother definitely been going through it these last couple of months. And now, but he's still in a new season of his life. And again, this also goes into just writing of a great character, and that they're able to tackle survivor's guilt in many different ways, especially when it comes to interpersonal relationships with families, with loved ones, and even when it just comes to ourselves. When it comes to like feeling that, hey, I'm not going to become this person, dealing with generational sin, dealing with iniquities. If you guys, know that points to you. But like, for example, that, just because my father is something doesn't mean that I'm going to be that, right? But just because something might be from your father's in you doesn't mean that's inherently a bad thing. It's just how you use it. And they've knocked it off cylinders in these upcoming episodes you guys are about to see. But again, with the concept of Angstrom, this is one of his new arch nemesis, is the brother, played by Sterling K. Brown. A lot of voice actors in here. Don't worry, Marcus. I'm going on a rant later, and I hope Lucas and is still in there. Because I'm about to go on a rant on Marvel in a minute. Just stay tuned, y'all. We're trying to get to all the little bits before we get to the main till we cook. But yes. Now, I just want to say, I kept saying in this episode. There's a lot of things. New characters show up. We get Angstrom Langston, who's like the better Kane the Conqueror or better.
Wait, hold on. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I hear what I said.
No. How'd you say his name?
Langstrom?
Levy. Angstrom Levy. You said his last name wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, he's black. So
get it right.
Yes. Actually, I got another clip. I probably gotta put in there too. But no, because we've seen new characters. We got the black man called Bulletproof. He's black, too. He's black Invincible. Eventually,
Yeah,
so,
he will be. Yeah.
Yeah. So
come on, man. I know you tight. Be better.
Right. So I'm all for it, for all this representation. You know what I mean? So yeah, and but yeah, we see a bunch of new characters, and we see new characters added into the added into the fold and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm all for it. But I will say this what this in an upcoming episode, what you guys are about to see, and I won't spoil anything. But again, they did really deal with, aside from all the action and everything, they deal with more with the grief and the story, the actual emotional weight these characters are going through during these times. Even with after we got that amazing one-shot episode with Adam Eve this summer. I saw that when it premiered at Comic-Con. Shout out to Comic-Con, y'all. San Diego, that was a good experience. But yeah, that was a great episode, and they just build off of that now that we're getting, Mark and his mother. And shout out to his mother, definitely just going through it, because now, he's in a different stage of his life. Now he's about to go to college, and now she's in a point of being a single mother, a child without his father, missing graduation for almost, 18 or 17 years of his life. So now it's like, what did that do to you, right? Now to the fact that this person who've been secretly been a monster this whole time, and now the fact that he's created all this havoc and then he dips out. Now the only people that you get to look at is you. So and it's not your fault, but if people think it is, so it's again survivor's guilt, and they do it in a very unique way, but also a very relatable way. And I really appreciate what they were doing with this, and they don't stop with this, until in the upcoming episodes as well. And I won't tease anything though. But again, you're going to see characters you've seen before and moments you're like, what the F moments. Now I've read the comics. I was watching it with Sam from Team JBS. Shout out to Team JBS. And there was a moment where I'm like, you see a creature that shows up, and you're like, oh yes, that's gonna happen, right? But really, the real shout out to the show is the voice actors, and I won't say who also other voice actors. You've probably seen in the trailers though. But when you find someone that shows up, and you're like, wait a minute, that sounds like my childhood. Who is that? Roll out. So no, for real, I was like, man, this is my childhood. Okay,
Viltrumites against Viltrumites. That has not happened since the dawn of time.
Right. And we must find the matrix of leadership. Anyway, that's a tease for y'all. But anyway, Invincible season 2. I think episode 2 will be coming out on Friday again this week. We got a lot of stuff coming out this week. It's a really, really busy week with content. But yeah, make sure you guys check out on Amazon Prime. And I think is it 9 p.m.? Not 9 p.m. Eastern?
I think it might be. Like late Thursday, but basically, around basically around the same time of our next topic, is when the next episode will drop.
Right. Okay. Got you. All right. So now we get into the main event. Now, before we get into this article, we're going to talk about. Now we're going to a new segment. Which is the episode, which is one of the things in the MCU that's actually been good, decent right now. So that goes into our next segment. What's new with the MCU? We're back, y'all. So Loki, season 2, episode 5. Before we get to the
Five.
season finale, um, this show has been knocking out of the park in all cylinders this season. It reminds you that that Loki is probably the only, and not one of the most Disney Plus shows of Marvel that's actually working, and reminds you that there's still some heart in the MCU. You just gotta go with Disney Plus and subscribe for I think $15.99 a month. Because after the strike now they have to raise all the prices. Get so they get those residuals. They strike and we pay. That's how it goes. So
Don't
but
remind
yeah,
me.
right? But this episode, shout out to Tom Hiddleston. Shout out to Tom Hiddleston. Sorry, I'm getting a little stuffy, allergy season. There he is. Tom Hiddleston, man, he did a fantastic job in this episode. Definitely, after the drastic, of cliffhanger that's happened, and with time running out, that now we get to a point that everybody's been, and the TVA has been reset to the original timelines that have been pulled out of, and now that you see Loki, Loki basically now trying to assemble everybody so he can bring back so they can save the TVA. But the question now that he's still time slipping, and the whole point of this episode is not that reason like, oh, he needs to save the TVA, but why? Why did he want to save the TVA, right? And then you slowly get to but surely get to see all each variant, Mobius, Hunter B-15, and other characters, OB. You get to see their personal lives, right? But you're trying to see like reasons like why is Loki doing all this stuff? Is it for his glorious purpose? Is it for any type of gain or to save the multiverse? No, he doesn't want to be alone. He doesn't want to it is for a selfish reason, and Sylvie called him out on it. But I got it called out for again just in terms of the writing on the episode, particularly because again it's just like yes, it was a slower pace. Some things were kind of rushed at the end, I will say, but it wasn't not. I felt that I was not getting a payoff at the end of the episode. I'm still asking more questions, like confused, like where are we going with this? But in terms of Loki time slipping and able to like go back to the exact moment when when we left off in the previous episode. So, but Jay King, what was your thoughts, man?
Episode 5. I mean, again, as we've been saying, the show has been killing it. Bless you. The show has been killing it on like all cylinders. I loved getting to see all these branched timelines that everyone came from. You know, Mobius or Doug finally got that jet ski, and we find out he's a single dad with kids. Hunter B-15 was a pediatrician in New York around the time of the first Avengers film. And also, if you see what her actual name is, it makes sense why she's one of the only few people that can deal with Loki's BS. Casey, we found out, is that one prisoner that escaped Alcatraz and then disappeared from history, which it's like, with that and the DB Cooper stuff that they pulled in season 1, okay, Marvel, I see what you're doing there. And then freaking OB is a struggling writer slash science professor, and his whole layout is literally like his office in the TVA. So that was like that was actually really cool to see as well. But it's like we got to see, yeah, like basically it almost felt like Loki in a sense was sort of becoming the catalyst for the creation of the TVA in his own sense, like giving Obi the book, the structure of Obi's place, creating the bulkier but first version of the TemPad, and of course, and just seeing those seed plants that if it turns out that it is very much like a closed loop and it's not just the likes of Ouroboros and Victor Timely, but also Loki that was needed to create the TVA, that's going to be an insane payoff by the end of the season. And then also, again, as I said, I really love Tom Hiddleston's performance within this. You know, he basically is somebody that until this show did again, as he said, he thought that emotions were weak as he thought of his brother back in the first Thor film. But now he's at a point where it's like, if everything is gone, what's left for him? Because he's somebody that is time slipping. He's somebody that is belongs nowhere and yet is everywhere. And yet he doesn't really have a place to belong to. His timeline got pruned, like the branched timeline that he's from created during the events of Endgame got pruned. He's got nowhere. Oh, I mean, he's still got the main sacred timeline, and he could go see Thor since that Loki is dead. But otherwise, it's like he's got nowhere else to go. And so it's like he's trying to hold on, not to the TVA, not just to save the multiverse, not just to stop the comings of Kangs, or if that changes, which we'll talk about, but mainly just so that way he's not alone in it. It's his whole ride into becoming no longer the trickster god, but instead the god of stories, which is a recent moniker that he has gotten in the comics. And I'm so glad that they're leading into that. Like he's the one that's going to rewrite and change how the story goes. He'll make his own destiny. That is that is the type of shit I love. That is the type of storytelling that I love when it comes to characters like him. And I'm so excited for this week's finale. We got two big Marvel things this week, and this is one of the few things, and this is one of them that I'm super excited about. You're mute.
There you go. Now you can see me. Now you can hear me. I'm slaying it. But one of the things that I really appreciate what they were doing was that, again, it's like, okay, one of my biggest pet peeves I have with this episode, or at least with this season, is that, again, we left off with Loki season 1 with Sylvie and Loki, having or at least insinuating a relationship or something like that, right? And then kind of been somewhat distant this season, right? But to me, what made it everything was that scene at the bar, right? When we get to the point of like, why is Loki doing this? Because they're trying to say it's not science, it's science fiction, right? But not really about the when, where, or what, but like the
who,
why. Or like, but what? Well, but first, before we get to the who, is about the why. Like, why? Why are you doing this, right? And then he's saying, no, I don't want to lose my friends. And again, it's so really sympathetic too, because again, it's like we see now Loki, in terms of his development from season 1 to season 2, now just being the one, be the savior, but even that he was this bad person, but it really come from a place of I don't want to be alone, abandonment issues, whatever, and now the fact that Mobius and Hunter B-15 and other folks and Sylvie, like, they gave him purpose now, or a new purpose. So to lose that, it's like, where do I fit in? Where do I left out? And that is a reasonable thing to be fearful of. But Sylvie's like, listen, we're to create our own stories. You go write your own. Which that's a line they took from Justice League when Lex Luthor talked to Amazo. If y'all don't remember that episode, points to you. That's the exact same line. He said, "Where's my purpose?"
I remember that episode. It took me a minute till you said, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, that was a similar line, huh?
That was the exact same line. We create our own purpose in life. Now go make your own, right? Go write your own. And now the new concept, at least what we're trying to, I think they're teasing to, is that maybe that Loki might be going from being the god of mischief to the god of stories. Now, that is a comic book storyline that is that's in Marvel Comics. If you guys look at Loki, Agent of Asgard, that there is a story arc up there of him actually just being a person that is in a point of time just reminiscing on stories, and that's like what his role is. And now, in terms of the MCU, this is where they can put Tom Hiddleston somewhere and also hopefully bring him back into the movies and, in Secret Wars and stuff like that, and him playing a pivotal role in that. Now we end off the episode with another cliffhanger with now him, Loki, going back to the exact moment that we ended off last season. But
going back there before Victor went down there. And, I think definitely we could say where this is going. He's going to stop Victor from going in there.
Yeah, he's trying to save a black man from getting obliterated. So, and stuff like that. Now, they might do a whole thing of whether the Dormammu thing that might happen over and over again till we get it, and Loki just got to get back to that same point. I don't know, but yeah, I hope they pay off this this finale. Because again, my favorite episode last season was favorite scene was with Jonathan Majors at the end, him explaining everything. But I need to see where we're gonna get to this point now. Where's the connectivity to this, right? I want to shout out to Marcus. So shout out to people in the chat. Shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Lucas as well from Team JVS. Say question for the panel. How do you guys think the show season 2 will end? Again, I think that's going to end with basically Loki being in position of He Who Remains, because He Remains basically told him, like, saying, hey, I don't have to run TVA, you guys will, right? If not, you won't just if you kill me, you won't just get me, you get infinite amount, which is what's happening right now with King Dynasty and all that stuff, or you guys can run it. And I think that's going to happen where Loki's going to take that place. Now, where Sylvie and all stuff are going to take part in this, I don't know, because there's also, again, to my most anticipated movie of next year, Deadpool 3. We do know, or at least rumors, that a TVA are involved in Deadpool 3. So again, it's like they got to go back to that bureaucracy and and to the strength of that bureaucracy the way it was to us to get to that movie. And so I don't know. I heard, at least from reports, this article which we're going to get into, that there will be more Jonathan Majors Kang in a different way in this. So I guess we'll see what they're going to do. I don't know. Now, I will highlight Lucas's comment. He's saying that that Loki saying might be mid. Now, listen, compared to what we've been getting, it's actually been pretty good. But I don't think that is mid compared to other Disney Plus Marvel shows. But like, this has been very interesting. But the only thing is, I'm trying to wait to get to that Marvel connectivity to actually make me give a damn. Because again, I'm about to take the white gloves metaphorically off in the next segment in this Variety article. But we'll find out on Thursday. I sneeze. Am I about to sneeze? No, I'm not. Okay, sorry, allergies. Thursday at 9 p.m. On Disney Plus, y'all. Make sure you guys check out the season finale of Loki. Season 2, episode 6, and again, this week will be the last, to my knowledge, the last form of Marvel content you'll get this year.
Because we got the season finale, and at the same time, the Marvels comes out in theaters, which he'll be seeing before we're both going to be seeing this week as well.
Yes, I'll be seeing the Marvels tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be seeing the Marvels, but now I'll get to my next point here. Now, last week, Variety, right, had basically dropped a whole bombshell of Marvel news, but honestly, it was stuff that we already knew before. But we're gonna go into it now. For those of you guys don't know, you see the thumbnail. Marvel is in crisis. What does that mean? Well, in other words, that there are a lot of people, the fan base, and in the writing room that's having a lot of like
emotional damage.
And for a lot of people, they feel like they might as well just screw. I don't have to watch another Marvel movie again, and screw it, right? And Marvel and Disney are just like,
guys, let's all calm down, yeah? We're all worked up. Let's all just chill the F out.
We got the Marvels tracking in terms of ticket pre-sales lower than the Flash and Black Adam, right? So that's not a good sign. But yeah, we're actually gonna go over this Variety article bit by bit. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to drop the link, though, to see you guys want to give your thoughts and stuff, because it's going to be a very heated conversation, because I know me and Jay King, we kind of been back and forth about this for about a while. He still has hope for the MCU. I've been trained by a master who's in the chat, Lucas, in terms of the ways of the force or in film criticism. I've gotten older, I've gotten married, my beard's gotten thicker, and I became more wiser. And I realize now that a lot of my things in my childhood are now just getting to a point where I should just let it go. Don't be mad that it's gone. Be mad, just be happy that it happened in the first place. And the MCU is heading in a direction where I'm about to say, fuck it. And I prepared myself today to watch the Captain Marvel, the first one. I only saw it once. And then for tomorrow, I watched it again today. I couldn't finish it. I still have work to do, but I'm gonna finish it tomorrow before I see the movie. Prepare myself, but I get to see the Marvels tomorrow, and I get to see Loki season 2 finale, and then I'll recap everything from Marvel from Marvel 2023, a case study, and then before we get into the holiday at this, because I will be collaborating with a few other content creators, so make sure you guys hit notification bell. But let's get right into this article right here from Variety. Now, actually, I'm gonna drop this link, because this is gonna get heated. So before I get into the article, just Jake, what was your thoughts when this article got dropped?
Okay. I mean, when I saw the article and when I saw the main cover for the article, I was just like, I'm honestly not surprised, but at the same time, it's like, look, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I'm not someone who's non-oblivious to the problems that the MCU has had, like post Phase 3. I'm not opposed to knowing all the behind the scenes problems, all of the final problems when it's come to some projects. I'm not an idiot to all the opinions that have been within Phase 4 and so far within Phase 5 at this current moment in time. I'm not an idiot to any of it. I've seen it. I have had my own gripes when it comes to how things have been. But when I'm someone that's still hopeful, it's not out of any idiotic like, oh, I can't say. It's like, no, the reason I still have some semblance of hope is because I have been with this freaking franchise for like a very long time, and it has made up a lot of my best moments growing up, from child to teenager to young adult. And I'm someone that's like, I want to see this get back to the semblance of, where it was back in, like, say 2019, 2018, 2016. Like, see, like, yes, I understand the hype has not been there since, I'd say, since after No Way Home came out. And even maybe a little bit before that with some of the stuff, but really since after No Way Home came out. The hype has not been there. People have left, people have put away their Marvel memorabilia. People have not been there. Well, some people have not been there day 0 or day 1 anymore. Some people are just saying, screw it, I'll just wait till it comes out on Disney Plus in the next couple of months. Or when it comes to some series, people are just saying, screw it, I don't even know if I need to watch this at all. The reason I'm sticking around is because, yes, I have also been trained in knowing, when it comes to the type of shit that things have been in. But when I'm hopeful because I know that this can be better. I know that it can get better, and I'd rather have that hope in me and stick around until the long run and see how it all ends up, at least until the day I die, rather than give up on it, look away, and never see if it potentially has any goodness within it. Because let's not pretend like there hasn't been some good Marvel content that has happened within Phase 4 and 5. The likes of Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Wakanda Forever, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki Season 1, What If? Like, there has been a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and again, Loki Season 2. There have been a lot of good things that have happened. Yes, there's been a lot of like or a lot of meh, but let's not pretend like it hasn't had good stuff since after Endgame and Far From Home. I'm just saying I understand that it's been in a very mixed bag, but I'm just gonna keep hopeful. I'm just that's my stance on it. I've seen this
Um,
article. I've heard of this shit. I'm gonna just
mhm,
stay hopeful. I'd rather have that than have my hopes crushed.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I got to bring in somebody. I wish I had a video to introduce this dude. This person has done a amazing job, in terms of training me in the right way. Since I have a lot of work to do to get to his level. But I want to shout out to Team JVS. This dude, any type of debate, he basically will, um, you know, uh, beat you down, build you back up, realize why I beat you down, and I'm gonna beat you down again, so where you can realize, know who you messing with. That dude is my man Lucas.
Man, I don't normally get even introductions like that on JVS. That is great.
Yes, no problem, no problem. Yes, but how you doing, man?
Oh man, I am amazing. This has been an amazing show watching you two
Oh,
go
thank you.
over these topics of the day. Let me tell you, the mixture of you two, Mike at times being the hype one, J King being the more calm one. It really mixes well to make an entertaining show, especially when you get to a big topic like this, because clearly your opinions differ. And I went through this a lot with Sam, and I literally text Sam and said, "Man, this reminds me of early on in the MCU. This was me and Sam. Sam was Jay King. He was the person who was always optimistic. I was Mike early in the MCU by phase 2. And I told him, like, I even gave him an end date when this would get bad then, and it turns out to be true. But it's that you two can disagree but still respect each other's opinion that makes the show good.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that, again, as I told Mike yesterday, as he was on another stream with someone else, is that, as you constantly do this, as you become more consistent, more people will watch because of the dynamic. And you two got a dope dynamic going on here. So that's why I start off with love before I shit all over Marvel like I normally do.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, this is article I'm actually getting is from Screen Rant. Now, with this article, they actually are breaking down just the plot points just from the whole article. It's about 12 of them, but we're gonna get to each one until we get the next one, right? So the first one, now we know the man Jonathan Majors was actually still going through a trial right now, and that Variety reported that focuses were primarily on a recent controversy with Jonathan Majors, who was arrested on March 2023, a little bit right after when Ant-Man and the Wasp and Creed came out, like around the same, like a week or two after the film was released, on allegations of assault and is still awaiting trial. Majors came out as the Kane Conqueror in Phase 4 of Loki Season 1, and has since been set up as overarching villain for the entire multiverse saga. However, his arrest shortly after the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp threw his future in the MCU into jeopardy, right? A variety reports that Marvel Studios executives met at their annual retreat in Palm Springs to discuss the next step of following Major's arrest, considering rewriting the multiversal saga to not focus so much on Kang, but possibly on another person, i.e. Doctor Doom. Now, before we get into this, what do you think decision? I'll go with Lucas on this, like with the current situation going on with Jonathan Majors, because I saw you guys you guys are not watching on Team JVS, make sure you guys subscribe to them. There was a video they made after, I believe, after Blue Beetle came out, and they were talking about the new direction what DC was going through, right? Mm-hmm. And even though they cover DC, they also cover what Marvel, Invincible, the Boys, and the current state, everything going on, and just how making comic movies today and how the audience are not the same audience back in 2012. So with this situation now, like Lucas, what do you think the direction that Marvel might be going, or how you feel about this?
Marvel's going to dump him. And it's just a matter of time to decide when they're going to do it. I think they're trying to be more political about it and wait until the trial starts. But I think that no matter how this trial ends up, they can't have him continue as Kang. So either you recast that character, which you can easily do. You can easily recast that character, or you move on. But Doctor Doom from the beginning was always the other option for their big villain. That's part of the reason why Fantastic Four has the release date it had with Marvel, is because it was talks about making Doctor Doom the big villain before Kang came into the picture. So now they're thinking, especially after Bob Iger came back and after all the other changes that happened in the MCU that we've talked about countless times, way before this article came out, there were going to be changes in the MCU because Bob came out against Kevin about 8 months ago. So we knew those changes were coming. With Jonathan Majors, it almost comes an issue where, do we wait for this trial to tell us horrible things, or do we cut bait like everyone else has done? I think they held on to him because he was in Loki season 2, and they couldn't reshoot anything because of the strike, so they had to hold on to him. But now that that's over with, the question is, do you have to continuously hold on to them, or can you move on from him? And with them shelving his movie Magazine Dreams, which if it was released this year, he would get nominated for Best Actor because he's that great in that movie. And Disney bought the movie for that reason. And then this year, they shelved the movie a month ago and saying that movie will not see the light of day now. I think that's them pointing to the fact that they're going to move on from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, J. King.
I mean, I have a similar stance when it comes to that. It's just like I think that, since they still had too much that was going on with Jonathan Majors' Kang, that they were just wait. And I feel like they are still going to wait just like a tiny bit because it's like, no one knows how this whole thing is going to go. One minute we hear, it's not looking good for him. The next minute, oh, they have a lot of evidence, and the evidence that they do show is pretty good for him. But then it's like a back and forth of like, well, what the hell is going to happen with him? I think at this point, once Loki season 2 ends, because I'm pretty sure he'll show up again in the finale. Once Loki season 2 ends, they'll start to make decisions like, okay, that's over with. We don't have any more stuff with his version of Kang in it. What do we do with this now? Now, I literally had this conversation before the other day with someone else. I was like, if they have to recast him. I like Jonathan Majors as an actor, and I feel like his performance within all the shit that he has been in with Kang has been great. But given everything, if they have to recast him with someone else, Kang is the easiest person to recast someone with. He has so many multiversal variants that it's just like you could basically just have another one show up that doesn't look like him, whoop the asses of all the other variants and say, yeah, I'm daddy now, basically. But you could literally have that happen and no one would bat an eye because it's like multiversal variants, like all spider people don't look the same. So it literally could happen like that. I don't want it to be Doom because I feel like we just need time to set up Doom. And I don't even want Doom in the first Fantastic Four movie because we've done that twice already when it comes to beginnings of Fantastic Four films. I want it to be someone else, like Annihilus or Mole Man or someone else, but don't do Doom immediately. Set him up and then give him his time to shine. But saying, I don't want him to be the main big bad of the multiverse saga. If he shows up within the multiverse saga, fine. But I don't want him to be the big bad of it. I want that to stay. Like if you're putting it all on Kang, then stay with Kang. But you can change the actor. You can change what he looks like, but still let it be Kang. Just let it be somebody else that portrays him. That's my stance on that.
Yeah, so with this, what they're going to be dropping or not, I do agree. At this point, it's really a matter of when, because more like, yes, there could still be hope, but at this point, when someone in terms of this is very crucial in terms of plot points now in your multiple different films, not just like with one franchise, like, with the Flash, and like, no, this is someone you're going to be using multiple different times, and now we're seeing this, obviously, the current state with Disney, when these cases happen, i.e. Johnny Depp, they realize, you know what? Hey, we're not probably just gonna cancel this $1 billion movie that's the franchise and stuff. We're probably just gonna wait until we see things. Then obviously we just gotta wait till Beetlejuice 2 come out and Tim Burton put him in as cameo, and then we'll have Johnny Depp start his career back in some form or fashion. But with Jonathan Majors, Yes. Could they recast it? Listen, they can get another black man, put him in the suit and say, hey, I'm here, but the problem is this with Doctor Doom. The issue with Doctor Doom, and I think what a lot of people think that, listen, you have these iconic villains. One, Doctor Doom might be a great comic book character, but is he a great movie character? Because we've seen him done twice and not done to the best of his ability. In terms of this, we've seen the fact that we've had this person who has magic and technology and use it in the way we've seen the comics. Have we actually seen that done in the movies before? Now, in the current state of the MCU, yes, it's possible because you have Doctor Strange and you have Iron Man, Stark Industries tech, and all that stuff. But the point of this is saying, how can you now build this over in the next probably it's about to be 2024 and possibly Secret Wars to come out 2026, 2027, they'll delay it. So in 3 years, you're just gonna set up a big bad and in one Fantastic Four movie in the side or something? Like how? Because we do know that they're making another Doctor Strange. At least our reports are saying they're doing that. Now I don't know. I don't know whether it's gonna be confirmed or not. They're saying about Thor 5 and all this other stuff, which again, I told you, J King, what you heard about with the Wonder Man, this Vision Quest show. There's a lot of these Disney Plus shows and stuff that they announced are going to be thrown out the window. I guarantee you. Because next year, Comic-Con, Kevin Feige is going to come out in a new slate of movies and stuff going to look completely different from what you saw 3 or 4 years ago. I guarantee you. Right? And now I'm not going to say Kevin Feige going to come on stage like, hey, we fucked up. But no, I don't think he's going to say that. But I will think he's going to say, hey, listen, this is the direction. We're going to pull back and not stretch us too thin, because unlike any other studio, Kevin Feige has put his thumbprint on everything that's come out of Marvel, with the Disney Plus shows, with the films as well. And now the fact that he was increased the assembly line over, he's only one man. You can't stretch him in one, it's
Here you go right here. You got a lot of faith that's going to be Kevin Feige. What if I told you that won't be him?
Well, who do you think?
I'm going to say once the Marvels comes out, if it flops as bad as they're predicting right now, and then Echo follows suit, Bob Iger has already said his issues with Kevin Feige. Bob is the type of person who will move on from Kevin, put him in a role that says, hey, while you will still be the big producer over it because I need people to think that's who you are, I'm going to appoint someone that's actually going to be over what happens at Marvel. And don't be surprised that if everything goes as bad as they're predicting it is going to go now, that it's not Kevin Feige moving forward.
See, now, again, I don't know if I want that dream to come true. That's saying if Kevin Feige gets dropped, because I can't imagine him not, being part of it. But again, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if they do, though. Hey, Bob, I got another person in the panel. Shout out to Marcus in the building, the Marvel Whisperer. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Good evening.
Yeah, so I know you've been a big fan of the MCU, right? Esque-ish, maybe a little. Like I said, man, this is the thing that sometimes people looking at it from the half glass full. Kevin Feige has been there in the high ups, and now he's in the high downs. And it fluctuates, right? Because I know that J King popped back up. But Loki right now is at its all-time high because it's that thing that can reset the balance in a way that can maybe fix certain things. I'm not looking forward to seeing Jonathan Majors recasted, at least anytime soon. But then again, it is true because he has a multiple of variants. It could be different actors. It's kind of like that Doctor Who situation, Doctor Who has been changed to different people. The Doctor Who is like a character of a person, right? And what they can do. Now, when I first saw Julian McMahon or Julian McNamara, when he played when he played Doctor Doom, he did a pretty good job for what the times were. Surprisingly, he still did a pretty good job, but I still needed to see more of
intellectual mind that is Doctor Doom, because his presence is to be known. When he walks in the room or when you see him, we've seen many forms of him in the comics, cartoons, the video games did such a great job of showing his when he was in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, when he had that plan to take over Odin's power, to have the Odin Force, and basically be invincible. And I think what we need to do is, I get it, like, because I've said it before myself, like, man, the pandemic really messed things up, and Jedi and J. King agree, and Lucas, you most likely agree too, not just in Marvel properties, but other properties outside of other stuff we like to watch outside of Marvel. And now when I saw that and I showed my girlfriend, I said, hey, like, they want to already zoom him to Doctor Doom. They need to like wait out and finish this multiverse saga first, write it out, and you can still clean some stuff up and fix certain things. It's never too late because of Marvel. That's the thing about it, because they have so many complex characters and villains, and even the side characters that can be helpful, just like Spider-Man had Ned and all that, and Iron Man had Hogan and all that kind of stuff. You know, we still have some time for it to finish out, and you have the Kang Dynasty and the role that they're probably saying that he could potentially play in Secret Wars, because we know in certain comic storylines, Kang kind of redeems himself in a way. And spoiler, non-spoiler, but now that Doctor Doom, I think Doctor Doom, we should kind of hold out for another saga or phase. But if you are going to introduce Doom, you should have done it with the Fantastic Four. And if you're not going to do it with the Fantastic Four, do it with another high stakes regard where you're going to involve the Avengers, just like in the Secret Wars arc and Battle World, you know? So, you know, and plus they just said that they're confirming that Blade got a TVMA rating or something like that, or a mature rated R rating. So there is that. They're doing the whole Streetverse now, where Spotlight for Marvel, where they're having like Echo and Daredevil and the Punisher and stuff like that, and hopefully other, you know, kind of like the more mature, more like, hey, this is the adult stuff where stuff can get serious. I've always been a Punisher fan too when I was younger, with, you know, Frank Castle. Before these YouTube streets started arresting another Frank Castle in a different way, I always knew Frank Castle for what he was, punishment, and, you know, for them to kind of bring back John, put a certain justice to that character and the writing too. And then we have Daredevil too to add on. So you gotta, and then it's tough too, because you have so many characters now that you got to make sure you juggle and you balance so they can all fit in, so it can resemble another endgame ending battle kind of atmosphere again, because we haven't had a Marvel Avengers movie in 4.5 years or so. So we have that component too to play. So what are the stakes going to be raised? They're talking about bringing maybe possibly Iron Man and Captain America, who, you know, to my heart, I've always had a thing for Captain America and Spider-Man. And we know they're saying that, well, who's going to lead the Avengers now? I've always said that, hey, the best minds are the most intellectual minds to lead a team, which is like, you know, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, who was a very smart kid, even from a young age. When you see them in Civil War being introduced for what he could do, that's why Iron Man was kind of taking him as his protege under his wing and as his like son in a way. And so then you have Shang-Chi. You know, Shang-Chi hasn't been mentioned in a while either.
Yeah, I was gonna go through the rest of the article, because that next point was with Shang-Chi in the Eternals, is that the second point was talking about that Shang-Chi and Eternals, their MCU debut were experiments for the MCU. Experiments, right? Even though, and this is a quote, even though that Jonathan Majors feature in MCU is perhaps the biggest talking point, Marvel Studios' recent history, other characters and projects were also exploring in Marvel's Phase 4 with Shang-Chi and the Eternals. The report noted that Marvel Studios increased in content in the wake of Avengers Endgame and waved a narrative across many different projects that was too confusing for the audience to follow. And that wasn't a good idea to use the opportunity to experiment with breaking in new characters such as Shang-Chi and 10 characters with the Eternals. Marvel Studios perhaps would have benefited from producing familiar hits following Endgame and not branching out further. Now Marcus talked about Shang-Chi. I actually enjoy Shang-Chi, for what it's worth. And I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world. Whatever has issues, like, yes, it's like the same thing as
It's badass because it has freaking martial arts.
But yeah,
I mean,
but like,
do you? Do you want
Yeah.
the truth about Shang-Chi, or do you
No, go ahead,
want
Lucas.
to
Yeah, go
do
ahead,
the
Lucas.
press
Yeah.
clippings? Great. Shang-Chi lost money and lost a lot of money. And they told Sam that who plays the lead character, they told him he will not get a sequel until after Kang Dynasty. So that means he has about another 3.5 years before they want to even address this character again. And the problem is because the movie lost money. Just like with Eternals. Eternals lost a lot of money. And Marvel is very good at this point of saying, hey, let's put this to the back burner and see what else we can build up. So while some people liked it, a lot of people didn't. And because a lot of people didn't, they don't necessarily know how to move forward with that character. That's the issue with Marvel right now. They are stuck that they don't have a character that can lead their Avengers team. It's not a single character left that they have control over that can lead an Avengers team. It was supposed to be Captain Marvel. That was the setup for them. It was going to be Captain Marvel and Black Panther, and unfortunately we know what happened with Chadwick, and everyone hates Brie, and everyone hates anything about Captain Marvel. So now they're stuck because they have Spider-Man for one more movie, and Sony has been adamant about that. This is our deal. Spider-Man can show up in one more movie. Once that one movie deal is over with, they have to go back to Sony and renegotiate another deal if they want Spider-Man again. And Sony at this point has them by the balls. And Sony is going to ask for a lot of everything for you to use Spider-Man. And that's why that's why the conversation is, hey, why don't we bring back Captain America? Chris Evans has said, I'm not interested in doing that right now. How about bring back Iron Man? Robert Downey Jr. has said, I am not interested in doing that. Bring back Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson has not only said, am I not interested in coming back? She has literally told other actors not to sign multiple picture deals with Marvel. Like they are in a boat where they don't, it's almost like they're on the Titanic and they're playing the instruments and they don't know where to go after this. And that's why you get the Doctor Doom. That's why you get the rush to cast Fantastic Four. That's why you get the rush all of a sudden. And just be prepared for it. Within a year or so, you're going to hear about an X-Men movie out of nowhere. And it's because they need to rush that out. And they have no control over Deadpool 3, which is also hurting them. Ryan has complete control over that movie. If Ryan decides, I don't want to overly connect to your universe, you know what they're going to do? Allow him not to overconnect to the universe because he has no interest in being involved in a greater picture of the MCU. He wants to do his movie. And then after his movie, if he feels like signing on for anything else, he'll do it. Like right now with Marvel, they're stuck in a situation where, along with the Marvel Spotlight banner now and them attempting to do more mature content, we know Mahershala is at the brink of almost quitting Blade. This movie has been in production for the longest time. He absolutely hates it. They tried to make a female-centric
Almost
version.
5 years, man.
Vetoed. Yeah, like he is pissed about everything with Blade because it's holding up him from doing other projects. He's been on hold for 5 years with Marvel with Blade. He is highly pissed with them with this. Echo. If anyone ever wanted to know what Marvel thinks about Echo, they're dropping the entire series on one day. Disney Plus has never dropped a series like that before. And it's because, and it's been talked about, they have no faith in this show at all. It's been people higher ups in Disney who are wondering, why the hell was this show ever made? And now they're stuck. And they said, you know what? Instead of canning it, which it was talks about doing what WB did with Batgirl, it was talks about doing that with Echo. And instead they said, we could just drop it all at once and move on and tell you it's part of Marvel's Spotlight and say, hey, it's not even really part of the MCU. So if it doesn't work, who cares? Look at Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac is not signed on for that character again. He did a miniseries and moved on from the character completely and said, I'm only coming back if you give me a story that I like. This is the issue with Marvel right now. And there's no quick
Are you
fix.
saying it's a MCU issue?
See, Jay, some something of that nature.
Yo,
Yes.
yo,
Right now,
yo.
right now they're stuck, and they have to find a way out of this. And right now, the biggest way out of this is for Kevin Feige and Bob Iger to grovel on their knees and tell Sony, how much money do you want for us to use Spider-Man? That's it. That's your only out right now. Because damn it, if you ever paid attention to that last Spider-Man live action movie, the way it ended, Spider-Man has no connection to anything right now. And that's the way Sony wanted it. They wanted it where Spider-Man had no connection to anything until they decided what they wanted to do with Spider-Man. But part of Sony deciding is Tom Rothman, who, for people who don't know who he is, and I hate to give you out, like, I know I'm throwing out a lot of information here. Tom
Go ahead.
Rothman was the head of Fox when Fox put out the X-Men movies, when they put out the Avatar movies, when they put out everything. He was the head of them. He left Fox, and Fox fell apart. And then that's when Marvel stepped in and bought them. But then that's when Sony grabbed him up after those emails leaked and asked him to come in and run their studio. So now Disney is stuck having to negotiate with someone who, in all honesty, does not like them. And he's going to milk Disney for everything humanly possible if you want to use Spider-Man again, because they have proven we don't need you, you need us. Down to the extent that the biggest movie in the MCU, Disney only got a 25% cut off of what the last Spider-Man movie made. Sony got everything else. Because when Disney tried to play hardball with Sony, Sony said, "Oh, not a problem. You'll never use Spider-Man again." And Disney went right back and said, "Okay, we'll take whatever you give us."
I just had a quick comment because, like, isn't Disney like a multi-billion-dollar empire though?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. They're a multi-billion-dollar empire that's leaking money. See, their worth is that, but everyone knows currently that Apple is just waiting to buy all of Disney up. And Apple has been waiting for 2 years to buy
This is why I told you guys to stop buying Apple phones and get some freaking Androids.
Yeah,
Damn.
Apple has been waiting to buy Disney.
I can't.
But Disney is very honest that
Apple here.
under the last CEO, like, they started hemorrhaging money heavy. And all you got to do is go back a couple of months, as I said earlier in this, go back about 8 months or so when Bob Iger took back over again. He made some comments about Marvel. Pay attention to what he said. He said he did not understand how these projects was being made. He said, we will cut back tremendously on Marvel projects. It was not a decision by Kevin to cut back on them. It was a decision by Disney. Marvel has spent over, I want to say, $1.5 billion on projects this year with no good return. We talked about it earlier. Well, we talked about it in another chat that She-Hulk and Secret Invasion cost more than every Star Wars show that Disney Plus produced.
That's hilarious.
You talking about Sheetworks, right? Sheetworks?
Yeah, right.
Sheetworks had a $230 million budget. That is ridiculous. At the same time, Ahsoka, Kenobi, and the last season of The Mandalorian combined, I want to say, had $250 million budget for all three of those shows. It's a problem. And Marvel was hemorrhaging money, and that's the pullback that they're going after now. When they say, well, we're not going to drop as many shows, we're not going to drop as many movies, we're going to focus MCU a little bit more, it's because Disney came in and said, if you don't, we'll get rid of everybody. And this is their way to fix it. It's saying, hey, let's go back to the drawing board here. If we got to throw a couple of shows out there that no one cares about, let's just throw those out there because they're complete. No one wants to really talk about Loki. I know a lot of MCU fans love Loki. What no one is talking about of Loki is, one, critically, is doing worse than season one. Audience-wise, is doing worse than season one. Viewership is down almost 40% from season one. It is a show that is struggling to keep an audience.
Well, which show again?
Because the show is bad. Loki. Season 2. It's not because the show is bad. It's because the MCU is bad. And people are like, why do I need to pay attention to Loki? Like, who cares? The rest of it is horrible. And then you got this big looming $275 million monster that's opening up this weekend that is predicted currently to open around $40 million.
So this is the thing that's tripping me out. So you mean to tell me that Star Wars can make a show about the Ewoks, those little Care Bears, and it can make more money than any of these damn properties right now?
You know why? Because Star Wars amazingly has decided that fan service is more important than good shows. That's it.
It's just some bull, man. This is bogus.
Star Wars will give you fan service through and through. Marvel decided that, and I don't mean to sound sexist, but Marvel decided that pushing the woman agenda was more important than pushing forward with their content. They literally have a character in Secret Invasion who is now.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say, Lucas. Spoiler alert. Capitalism.
And I'm someone who's never seen an MCU shows. But all I heard was, hey, they got a character that has everyone's powers in it now on one show. I said, excuse me? How the hell is that humanly possible? They have everyone's powers? I said, so why aren't they the big bad if they have everyone's powers? But it goes to creative decisions that have been made that make no sense. We literally went through Endgame or Infinity War, where Thor was trying his best to kill Thanos. His best. Almost came close to it. And then we get the next Thor movie, and this nigga can give his powers to anyone he wants to. And yet you didn't do that in the movie that would have been the most beneficial to do it in. That's why it doesn't make sense. It almost feels like Marvel's mediocre content has caught up with it. I'm very adamant that if you go back to phase 1, it's one good movie in phase 1. It's Iron Man 1. And then you got a good Avengers movie. But in between, you got a bunch of mid that gave you end credit scenes that were great. And people skipped over how mid the movies were because the end credit scenes set up a bigger threat. Same thing with phase 2. Phase 2 had a lot of movies that I thought really stood out, including like Winter Soldier up until that third act with the computer brain, and they blew it there. But it set up so much stuff.
He's talking about Project Insight with Arnim Zola.
I know what he meant when he said that.
They set up so many good things, but they had so many mid movies, but the end credit scenes pushed you forward. That's what happened when you got to the next phase. That's why Captain Marvel Part 1 at this point now grossed $1.3 billion. It's because
you're right between
it was following an Avengers movie.
Thank you.
Black Panther grossed what it grossed, and I know people confuse it not having a big connection to the MCU to not think that people thought it would have a bigger connection. It grossed what it grossed because of that reason. The Avengers effect is real and was real at that point. Every movie had it. If you followed an Avengers movie, your movie would do box office numbers that were ridiculous. But the moment you kill the big bad, you have to start over from scratch. And that's been the problem that they're going through, is that, I hate to say it, but Kevin didn't actually have a plan. He wanted a movie. He wanted to get to Endgame, and he changed that plan multiple times to get to Endgame, and no one paid attention to it. Spider-Man came out the fucking blue and magically got all of those movies, and none of them, if you ever watch a Spider-Man movie, you can remove all of them from the MCU and it changes nothing.
Facts.
At all. But that's the issue. He wanted to get to Endgame, but had no plan after he got to Endgame. And now they're struggling.
Yeah, I want y'all to look at this. This is the budget in these last previous films right here, and also Disney Plus shows right here. As you can see here, you had Ant-Man, Wasp, Quantumania making 200, it cost them $200 million to make. Secret Invasion cost them $212 million. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, $250. She-Hulk, $225 million. And then the only real movie that actually got a decent return, somewhat, is with $250 million with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah. But yeah, this is just kind of to show you just the recklessness of terms of their budget here. And I want to shout out to Jay Takashi. He just came on the panel. How you doing, man?
Hey, well, first of all, I want to shout out to everybody here. Shout out to my man J King. I haven't talked to you in forever, man. How you been, man? Shout out to Jedi Mike. Shout out to Lucas. This dude I hear has been spitting nothing but facts. The Bob Iger stuff, dude. I love that the stuff you've been saying because I remember that. I exactly remember that when he came in there, and I'm like, the fact that he cut these projects and actually said what he said. I knew they were gonna bomb, and also, one of my buddies predicted this. This is around when Infinity War was out around the time. They said like right after these two movies, Marvel is gonna tank. And guess what? Everything he said is coming to pass right now, because he was talking about DC coming up after that. I'm like because James Gunn is all over there. But I knew bar none. Once that Captain Marvel, they were trying to push that thing, guys. Nothing has been good. Nothing has been concisive at all. People can't tell me that. Even as much as I love like Daredevil and stuff, I'm not gonna watch Echo. I don't care to watch it because I never cared for that character. I never did. As much as people like whatever, we don't care for the Hawkeye show as much, or as big as it is. It's not really as big as us following Thor and all that stuff. It didn't really make us care for that character. I'm gonna hold you real on that, man. It will be awesome if you could tie it into Daredevil, and I think Jedi would have probably liked that more, where we get more Matt Murdock, and then that would have set it up. And then it's like, okay, now he's coming to the MCU, like even further better. And I'm like, that would be a good setup. Like, keep doing those breadcrumbs you were doing before, but like with Secret Invasion, I told Marcus this. I think after what they could have set up, honestly, after Avengers Endgame, they could have set up the Secret Invasion shit instead of the freaking dimension stuff that we got. Because I think that is something you could have. I'm talking about the set of movies, Jedi brother.
No. I'm saying because you make a point, but even with this, our biggest thing is saying that we don't have characters, right? You have,
we don't have characters at all.
Here's the thing: the scrolls, right? Was one thing that the scrolls are tied to the Fantastic Four
and Galactus.
No, but who do we? Here's the thing: who do we have? The Fantastic Four. You could have had a story arc with the scrolls with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And yet you did nothing with it, and you wasted on a Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
And nobody watched.
Same here, man. It was wasted.
Listen, and whether you want to do a Gaia, Talos, whatever, did we really need that Secret Invasion storyline now?
We really didn't. We didn't, honestly, because I'll be honest, it was poor writing. The only thing this might be, guys, I'm not giving Secret Invasion any credit in terms of anything. The only thing I'm going to give credit for is maybe that Nick Fury was probably married to a Skrull, which would have made sense of why she's the only good one. And I would have preferred if you did it like that, because you could have did a 3-part movie series with that, or 2-part. Because I would have made Secret Invasion a 2-parter movie thing set up to when we have more characters, to where like some of these people coming in, like the Fantastic Four, or whatever, one was replaced by a Skrull. And then they get back, and then they come back and send us the message like, "Yo, everybody."
Yeah, and War Machine was just hanging there, just chilling, hanging up there.
That War Machine was like Lucas. Where Lucas is laughing right now, that War Machine shit, that shit was trash. Pardon my French, y'all. It was trash. I'm like, you're telling me so we just replaced? That's the only one we replaced.
Yeah,
really,
and,
he's the only one.
Now,
like, okay.
I want to get to the next part of the article. Because talking about Captain Marvel. So the Marvels went through 4 weeks of reshoots and had a lot of trouble with the director. Now, films have always been going through reshoots before, whatever. Also, this is the first Marvel movie directed by a Black woman, right? You gotta have that in there. But yeah, I just want to say it's set premiere tomorrow, right? Or not tomorrow, this week. The Marvels basically will start with Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and Mon Vellani as the 3 cosmic heroes. However, the project hasn't been without its share of behind-the-scenes drama. You guys hear me?
We hear you, bro. Oh, yeah. Keep on going.
All right, cool. All right. Is that the Marvels went for 4 weeks of reshoots to bring in coherency to a tangled storyline. Quoted. Cost upwards of between $250 million to produce, and it's only tracked to open at the time this article was 75-80 million. Probably won't even make that in the box opening
much
weekend.
less now.
Yes. and directed by Nia DaCosta. Also curiously moved on to another project, Hida, months before post-production on the Marvels was finished, which may spell bad news for upcoming adventures. So, with that, I've seen the Marvels tomorrow. I don't know what Lucas is doing tomorrow too.
You already know we're seeing the Marvels tomorrow. Stop playing.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Of course, we're seeing it
You know
tomorrow.
what your brothers think? Like I said,
No.
I mean, hopefully, listen. Whether you do a short, whether you give me a video, man, I'm actually curious to what y'all two are gonna say, honestly, because like I said, anything that does with reshoots never ends up good. I'm like, let's keep it real. Morbius, freaking Suicide Squad. Do I need to get into this, man? Anything they keep doing reshoots never ends out well. Like I've never I've never got a project where the reshoots actually make the movie better. I've never seen it. I need to like
the
no one
first
is
Aquaman.
First. That's my
first
thing.
Aquaman. If you like the first Aquaman, Aquaman had
I like
6 weeks of reshoots.
Okay.
So reshoots aren't out the norm. You're actually supposed to have them. They set for the budget to have them. The issue here is that one, for people that don't know, Disney has a practice of only screening movies for friends and family because they don't actually want honest opinion if the movies are good. With the Marvels, they decided to let a regular test audience screen it, and the reviews were horrible. And that's what led to them having to do the reshoots of it. Nina moving on is also weird, but she spoke about it today and said they pushed the movie back 4 or 5 times. I can't keep on holding pattern when I have another contract with another movie. So she's saying she was involved in the process, but I mean, this is a big movie. This is the biggest movie of her career, but she couldn't be involved in the process like she wanted to be.
Just look at that face.
I'm not like a lot of people. I thought, while I did not give it a good grade when I reviewed the first Captain Marvel, I literally said, I want to see more of this character because this character is interesting. And then when the Marvels got announced as the sequel, and you told me you were adding 2 characters I did not care about in the movie, I lost interest immediately. Okay. Brie Larson is the best actor in the MCU, hands down.
Actress.
No one's better than her. Actor. Because actress, actor don't matter one way or the other. They all doing the same job. She's the best in the MCU, male or female. But the problem is they have decided that they need her to have a cartoonish movie. When I don't know much about the comics, but Captain Marvel is not a funny character.
She's not.
Nor should it be written as a funny character. Like, this should have been a straightforward, easy layup for them. And they decided to go a different direction because while the first movie made money, the reception was bad.
Yeah.
And they're terrified of what a second film would have done. But this is one where I wish they would have just stuck to their guns and gave her the movie she deserved to have here. And instead, I'm going to go tomorrow to see a mess of a movie that I have no interest in seeing, that I know is going to be bad for that reason. But I would like to hear from Jay King, because Jay is the most positive person towards Marvel.
That's a strong word and title of claim to have Brie Larson known as regarded as the best actress amongst them.
Could you name me another Oscar winner that's part of the MCU?
Oh no, Oscar winner, but that was for material that was for a movie called Room. That isn't worthy of Marvel.
That movie is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great. No. It's great.
That movie's on a level that no one in the MCU has ever done as a performance.
No one's ever done that before. Yeah, because Brie Larson, because listen, I remember Brie Larson when she was freaking Envy Adams from Scott Pilgrim. So, like,
forget about that. 21 Jump Street. But she's looking like in that picture you just showed, she looks like she's in 24 Jump Street.
She's definitely a fantastic actress. But like, I think, and I want to get on with Jay King with this because I think also this for me and him are both like on agreement. Like, I'm really a big fan of Tiana Paris. Like, I really enjoyed her character in WandaVision. And Maude Vellani, again, I don't think the character doesn't get a lot of respect that she deserves because her show came out in the worst time possible, right? Of last year, right? You came out right after the colossal failure of the juggernaut of She-Hulk. You had Obi-Wan, the highly anticipated Obi-Wan show coming out. Then you also had you also had The Boys season 3 that was premiering as well, and then not only this, you had the highly anticipated Stranger Things season 4 part 2. So it was like it was getting obliterated right during that summer. So it was like, but it was still, I felt the Marvel line did a great job, and I think me and Sam were both in agreement. Like, okay, this is actually the one like character. Like, I'm actually care if I want to see her, in another installment. But the thing about it though is like the same situation with her is what I have with Blue Beetle. Is that they're just coming out in just terrible situations right now. And not really getting in terms of the due diligence, whether it might be marketing, whether or production, whatever that might be. But the thing with this one with Captain Marvel is that I don't understand why can't we just have a Captain Marvel proper sequel instead of like, you know what, let's just add these two in. Not saying because Marvel, like Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel are interchangeable. They can, they've been in comics before together. But it's just like you're adding all this stuff in, two other characters, and you're not calling it Captain Marvel anymore. You're just calling it just the Marvels.
The Marvels.
Call it the She Marvels.
But like, I just want to. But no, J. King. I was just like asking J. King, like, what would you think your thoughts on just terms of like the decision them actually want to add 2 other Captain Marvel characters in this instead of thinking that we just have a proper sequel of Brie Larson?
J. King, can you hear us?
Oh, is he frozen?
Yeah, no, he's not frozen.
Oh, you can't. Can you hear me?
I don't think he can hear us. Yo, Jedi Mike, can you call me?
Yo, he's a variant. Yo, he's a variant.
Yeah.
J. King, can you hear us, man?
Here we
I
go.
hear you guys.
Here we
I
go.
heard you guys the whole time.
Oh, no.
That's what I said.
What?
Yeah, you heard the question.
Yeah, I heard you guys. I'm not deaf. I still they still work.
King
I've been here the whole
J'Chaka.
time.
I said, did you hear the question I was asking you?
Yeah, I heard it.
So what's your thoughts?
Snap. He does the J. King snap, the Thanos snap.
I'm just gonna say that in terms of the Marvels, I mean, I feel like it's look, you could look at this in a similar stance of like, oh, we could have done a Man of Steel sequel, but instead we decided to put Batman in the set of the Justice League. But I wouldn't say it's as crazy as that, because at the very least, Monica Rambeau is already tied to Carol, and then Kamala being her fan, biggest fan. At least in that sense, it makes sense. And as I've already said before, I'm happy to see Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau back again, because they were two of my favorite newer characters from Phase 4. But I know people don't give a damn about this movie. I know people do not give a flying fucklet about this movie. I know that there have been a lot of people who are just like, I don't need to see this movie, and a lot of people who are going to see it, but are going to see it just to hate watch it. You know who you are. You don't even need to put them up. You already know who you are. But you know who I'm talking about, Mike.
Let's go. Big Tyron Magnus?
Yeah, man. I'm surprised he knows him. That's what's up.
I'm just going into the movie and hoping that this movie surprises me. I like elements of this film, and even though Secret Invasion kind of effed me over, I'm at least excited to see Samuel again. So I'm just in a state of like, look, I'm at least somewhat excited, even if the world isn't excited. And I'm just going to hope that this movie surprises me. And that's all I got to say. I don't have anything else to say about it. I really don't.
Man.
And I got a lot of respect for J. King.
That's why I like you, J. King. Yeah. Because
that's why I like
that's literally the opinion I give everyone when it comes to these movies. The superhero genre is something that anyone who loves comic books, you couldn't possibly imagine that you would get these characters on screen. At what point do you become so jaded that you decide to shit on these characters instead of actually sitting through and watching the movie? Like
It's actually
this
fun.
is
It's kind
for
of
you
easy,
all.
actually.
This is for you all. This is for you all. I'm a general audience person. I give a fuck about a superhero movie. If it ain't this guy here or Spider-Man, I don't give a fuck about a superhero movie. It literally does not matter to me. But for an audience that grew up on these comic books, you grew up imagining what it could possibly be like to have your favorite character on screen, support the movie. Even if you think it's going to be shit, support the movie. You know how many movies I've seen that I thought would be shit and surprised me? I thought Avatar was going to be a piece of shit when I saw it in 2009. I didn't possibly think Running with Smurfs could be a good movie. And it surprised me. It caught me off guard. But that's what these movies are supposed to do. Like, at least support it because you're saying, you know what? I love the MCU. I want to see it grow. I know they've made mistakes, but I still want to see the projects. So I'm going to support it. I'm going to go see the movie. I'm not going to hate watch a movie. Hate watching a movie is the most sucker shit you could possibly do. What is the point of doing that? It almost says that I'm willing to spend my money to watch something I won't like. Why? It makes no sense to do that. So at least give it your attention to the point where you can be unbiased about it. Me being a critic, I'm unbiased about everything I see. I can think a movie's going to be absolutely horrible, but when I'm in there, when I'm watching it, I'm judging it as a film. I could care less if it's something I didn't want to see. And comic book fans need to do the same thing because we are getting to a point where these movies and these shows will no longer be made. We're about 3 to 4 years away from you only getting a Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman movie. And no one's paying attention to it. I said this in 2014 when Spider-Man got brought into the MCU in one of our group chats that we have going on. I said by 2020, I said by the time that you're far enough removed from whatever Marvel's setting up as the big end of Thanos, everything's going to drop down because it has to. I said you're going to oversaturate the market. Everyone's going to find their own superhero to push. And when you do that, you're no longer a unique commodity. That's what happened to the Western in the 50s and the 60s. It just became oversaturated. That's what happened to the big action star in the 80s. It became oversaturated. How the fuck did Dolph Lundgren all of a sudden become a star that should be able to lead a movie? It's because you had Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Chuck Norris. You had so many that they just start throwing everything at you. That's what's going on with the superhero genre right now.
Don't you ever disrespect the great Van Damme. Don't you ever disrespect him again.
They're throwing everything at you. And when they throw everything at you, it just becomes so diluted. As an audience, you stop caring about certain projects coming out. So now you have to overly shock me to care. That's why The Boys exists. That's why Invincible exists. It's because you had to overly shock me for me to care about it. Or you're going to have to bring in someone who I respect what they do just enough for me to attempt to watch their projects. That's why DC brought in James Gunn. He's literally the person that people say, you know what, I respect him enough for me to at least give you an opportunity. But Marvel is the old horse in the game. Marvel has been consistent all these years. So what do you do when you're consistent? What do you do when you're constantly winning? Look at LeBron James. Look at Michael Jordan. The hate train is right around the corner. And it just landed at your stop. And it landed when you start making mediocre projects or when people decided to judge your mediocre projects. The moment that happened, Marvel all of a sudden is falling off a cliff when technically they've been making the same fucking movie since 2005 that no one has paid attention to. The same setup. Shang-Chi ain't no damn difference than Iron Man 1. Black Panther was no different than Iron Man 1. All of them are the same fucking setup. They give it to you over and over and over and over again. But you liked it because you had this big looming threat. The moment that threat went away, everybody's like, wait a minute, then what the fuck am I watching this movie for? Jonathan Majors? If I'm not a white woman, why would I be scared of him at this point? That's the problem. That's the problem. Like, that is the issue that Marvel is going through right now.
And shit, actually, it should be the other way around. They should be afraid of white women because they're the ones that do the wrong thing.
Of course. But I mean, but you know, Jonathan Majors white
Shout
women.
out to you,
Like
Lucas, man.
it's like that's white women is Jonathan Majors kryptonite. It's been that way for his entire career. So,
Evil.
Ah!
yeah, but this is the issue going on here, that you're not invested in a big enough villain to push your mediocre films forward. And Marvel has to find a way to do it. Even though I don't like 95% of Marvel's projects, I believe there's hope to correct what they're
Wait,
going
are you
through.
saying you don't like 95% of the recent projects or overall since the
No,
beginning of the MCU?
overall, I'm a critic. I can break down those. It's not been a Marvel movie that I didn't figure out within 10 minutes what was going to happen since the first Iron Man. Not a single one of them.
But when you
So
talk,
all
but
of
what I
them-
mean is when you talk about the quality of substance from the very first Iron Man to now, like there's like if you can
it's
classify
been
them
on
by
a
tiers,
downward-
right?
It's been on a downward slope since the first Iron Man.
That's interesting because a lot of people would say that like, hey, that the ones before the MCU, they were on a downward slope.
But you say before the MCU. What's before the MCU?
Yeah, well, you got like Fantastic Four, you have like
I
X-Men.
don't count.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't count any Fox movies.
That's why I said pre-MCU.
Yeah. I'm only focusing on MCU movies, and the reason why is because people only cared about MCU movies because they were overly connected to one another. No one judged. I literally know people who will say, I don't judge MC movies separately. Because why? There's no need to. Because if I ask you to judge it separately, could you tell me that Iron Man 2 is a better movie than X-Men 3? Nope. You couldn't.
No.
Iron Man 2 is a fucking horrible movie.
Thank you. I said the
You
same thing.
care
Thank you.
because it's connected to the MCU. Iron Man 3 is a horrible movie. They literally made 3 Iron Man movies and only one of them were good. But you didn't care because it's connected to the MCU. That's the key part. It was always the connection that you cared about. MCU hit its peak in, I want to say, 2007, 2008. Whenever Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that was MCU's peak year.
Talking about 2014.
You had back-to-back in the same year, Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. That was their peak.
Yep.
Everything else from there has been downward. Down to Endgame, which is not a movie. Endgame is an event. And Marvel set it up that way. They did not attempt to give you a plot that made any sense. They gave you.
Well, you didn't think 2017 was a good year because they had Thor 3, they had Guardians 2, and they had Spider-Man Homecoming.
Here's the problem. No Spider-Man movie will ever give credit to me as being part of the MCU when I know the process of how those movies were made.
Not even No Way Home?
Because they just jumped. They just dumped Spider-Man in there. Loki
Spider-Man movie gets credit as being part of the MCU. When I say I can remove,
I don't know.
And if you remove the Spider-Man movies, does it change the MCU in any way? Not remove Spider-Man, because you still need him in Civil War. If you remove those Spider-Man movies, it has no impact on the MCU. And they set it up that way for a reason, because Sony would not let them overly connect Spider-Man movies to the MCU. That's why. Well,
That's kind of hard to say though, because No Way Home connected it to where the factors that were in there, the variables that was happening in No Way Home.
But with
in
that
No
point,
Way Home,
Marcus,
what's the biggest?
What you're saying? In that point, Marcus, what you're saying with No Way Home, the only thing you got from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is to say, oh yeah, we had an issue with Spider-Man. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Because they weren't allowed to mention Spider-Man after that. That was part of their deal.
Contracts. That's why.
Yeah, because if Spider-Man would have popped up in that movie, that's it. You can never use him again. They purposely did it that way too. It's a reason why the highest grossing film of the since Endgame for them, matter of fact, besides Endgame, is the last Spider-Man movie. What's the connection between MCU and the last Spider-Man movie? Because technically, people tuned in to see all of Sony's Spider-Man and Sony's characters pop up in that movie. No one cared in any bit of a connection to the MCU. You care because all of a sudden we got a multiverse, but the multiverse is a Spider-Verse that literally was set up in a cartoon Spider-Man movie. it wasn't even properly set up in the MCU that would happen.
Yeah.
That's why you got Venom in that movie out the blue, and it caught people off guard. They're like, "Oh, Venom is now part of MCU." No, he wasn't.
Right.
He's part of what
It
Sony
wasn't.
wants to do. It was all about Sony setting up with
Even
Sony.
after he left the Venom and part of the Venom symbiote there on the
Oh, yeah.
original.
Yep.
You know,
And that's
you
just
notice
because
that Marvel can't bring that up though, and
they
under
can't.
no circumstances. To bring that up, you have to make another deal with Sony.
Sony. Yep.
Sony
And
does
that means
not
they
care.
can play off of it after that.
Yep.
Yep.
Sony's
Lucas
like, hey, we decide what's going to happen moving forward with this character. And that's all, but that's always been their deal with Marvel, is that you need to come to us and we decide if we like the script that you want us to possibly do for the MCU. And you can't overly connect them to the MCU, because if we decide to pull them away, we're just going to pull them. Doesn't matter to us. That's why after the second Spider-Man movie and Marvel and Sony was going after it, Sony walked away with no issue. Like, who cares? Like, what are you going to do? We know we got y'all by the balls. Like, you have to agree to whatever we want you to agree to. But that's the issue with the MCU, is that mediocre movies being pushed by a great villain, because that's what Thanos is. He's a great villain. It was a beautiful setup. But once that setup is over, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
You got.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie though. When they did the whole Infinity like saga storyline, I was hoping to see certain characters that never even got a chance to appear that were supposed to be very pivotal. And that was the thing that kind of got with me, was you had no Adam Warlock there, you had no Wolverine there, and Wolverine is one of my favorite all-time top heroes / anti-heroes, because he's Canadian, whatever. But it is what it is. We're not going to be able to see
access to him, I don't think, right?
They didn't and like
not at the time.
Yeah,
like Silver Surfer wasn't there, and he was supposed to be a big part of it too.
But legal, that would never have happened. Because listen, when I have kids, right, I can say to my son, like, you know what? There's a time that you couldn't see Spider-Man.
And we can't blame white women for that,
But
no,
But you could blame exec heads who run 20th Century Fox. They weren't having that. But what I'm saying,
Fox hated Disney and Disney hated Fox.
Like, and also in the comics they did it too.
Yeah, in the end, you got to have someone. You got to play fair with everybody. At one point, Disney played like we're the big dog, and we're not playing fair with anybody, and that's what led.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why you don't have a Namor movie. Namor.
Oh yeah, that makes me so mad.
Fishman.
Don't remind me.
Marvel Fishman.
Don't remind me, Lucas.
Because technically, Comcast still owns the rights to that character.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me.
Same reason why they talk about Incredible Hulk movie. It's been talks about have the rights come back to Marvel, but they shitted on him so much.
Who cares? Like
that now, no one cares about having a Hulk movie. So even if they got the rights back from Comcast, it wouldn't even matter at this point. Like it's like people forget that Marvel went bankrupt. DC saved them. And they sold off their characters to actually even start the possibility of an MCU.
So, Lucas, so basically, so I don't want to cut you off, brother. I'm so sorry, but I want to add to what you're saying. So, pretty much, the game was already rigged, and they went into a rigged Russian roulette, and then they were just spending the freaking thing, and like. I said, well, if this works, then we gotta. If it's successful, then we gotta try to get. I think this is what I think. I think like they started in small, and then as it gradually started to build up, I don't think they anticipated how successful some of this stuff was, and then they realized like, oh shoot, the story's getting so big. Like after this, we're not gonna have anything else, so we need to start getting these properties. And I'm like, you weren't gonna get them, and the reason why you weren't gonna get them is because. You should have already had them all under your. You should have had them all under your belt before then, because it. All the questions that every freaking comic book fan asks. Why won't they add that motherfucker in there with that storyline and things like that? Because they don't have the freaking rights to them, because they sold rights to other people. That's why it's such. I'm not saying it's incoherent, but any comic book friend would tell me like, bro, that's incoherent. They did this without Adam Warlock. That doesn't make any sense to me. Hey man, they couldn't put them in there. You can't get Silver Surfer. Because
people still remember that Disney had nothing to do with Phase 1.
What was it called? Paramount.
Paramount did all of
Paramount.
Phase 1. Every bit of Phase 1 is done by Paramount. Disney had to go back when they bought Marvel Entertainment, then they had to pay Paramount for access to Phase 1 movies because they didn't do that. So when Paramount had more control over Phase 1, Kevin Feige didn't have complete control over the MCU. When we saw the quality drop is when he got complete control over everything. Because before then, he had a studio and a boss above him who he had to ask permission to greenlight everything. Around Black Panther is when that shifted. And when that shifted, if you ever pay attention, the quality shifted along with it. Because giving anyone absolute power and control is never a good thing. People need someone to answer to. You think you got a good Kanye West album that nigga could have just held on to things forever?
That's why it's called a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy for a reason in a pyramid. So, unfortunately, if you notice,
got rid of Ike. And
even if you notice, like Joss Whedon, like after the first two Avengers movies, I could tell after the second Avengers movie, I don't see them bringing him back because the quality of what it was.
Yep.
And it was a good thing too because when you brought in the Russo brothers after they did Winter Soldier, they're like, wait a minute, well, Civil War that did really, really good. It was probably one of the best MC movies I've seen out of all the ones I've seen, one of my favorites. And then when they brought in to do Infinity War and finish out with Endgame, I was like, perfect. And then they moved on to other projects outside of Marvel. So
do you blame Josh for the second Avengers movie?
I think it's a collective. I can't just say it's one person. I think it's a collective of people. I do know that, like, I remember when Joss Whedon when they were winning awards, and I remember there was a red carpet thing for the MTV Movie Awards. He was very anti-humble, and he was like, Kagi, he's like, he gave us some kind of speech when he gave him that golden popcorn, and I could see, like, I hope this kind of thing doesn't get to his head, where he kind of gives us bad substance in a following movie, which Avengers 2 was like a mid-par movie out of the collective of all the MCU movies. It's in the middle. I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think it's the best either. But we were waiting for a guy. I'm just finishing up right now, but like I kind of noticed a shift, a tide change, and it was needed because if the Russo brothers didn't take over, I don't think it would have been a pretty good look for the Avengers movies that we would have still kept with Joss Whedon.
I'm gonna ask all of you this. Do you think it would have been better if you would have actually gotten the Avengers 2 movie that Joss Whedon shot and not the one that Kevin Feige edited that you got? Because if you go back to the articles at around the time the Age of Ultron came out, Joss Whedon is openly saying, this is not the movie I made. This is the movie that Marvel put out.
Right.
It had nothing to do with him. They completely changed his movie in the edit. The same thing they did with Kenneth Branagh with Thor 1. Same thing they did with Alan Taylor in Thor 2.
Okay.
They literally did the exact same thing with Joss Whedon with Age of Ultron.
Wait, so Joss Whedon did that to like Zack Snyder's Justice League when he took over? So yes. Are you saying he pulled a Kevin Feige over there?
Yes. So what happened is when Josh when he shot Age of Ultron was a completely different movie. When it came out, he literally said it in an article. This is not the movie I made, but this is the movie that Marvel wanted to release. But this was the start of the process when Kevin became overly involved with the process. It's the reason why you got Ryan Coogler as the director of Black Panther instead of the original director that was hired, which was Ava DuVernay. And she stepped away after Kevin told her what was going to happen. She said, wait a minute, then I'm not making a movie. You're making a movie. She said, I want nothing to do with this. And she said, I wish Ryan nothing but the best, but I know that process is not for me. Kevin Feige was literally doing the exact same thing that everyone blamed Warner Brothers for doing to DC. It's just that no one paid attention to it. The directors constantly told you, every director did. The reason the Russo brothers got Civil War and the rest of the movies is because they knew you don't interject anything. Whatever Kevin wants, Kevin gets.
Kevin
You're
gets
gonna shoot it the way I want you to shoot it. You're gonna do what I want you to do. And because the Russos are just shooters, and I mean that in the most disrespectful way for a director, they're just shooters. They don't know how to put together shit. All you got to do is look at every project they've done afterwards. They don't know how to put together anything, but Kevin does. So Kevin controlled everything. But you've had a group of MCU directors who've come out and said, I can't work with him again because I don't like this process. Down to Scott Dickerson with In the Mouth
Scott
of
Dickerson.
Scott
Strange?
Dickerson for Doctor Strange 2 when he walked away from the project for
Edgar Wright.
creative
Edgar Wright from
differences.
Ant-Man.
Right. Edgar Wright for Ant-Man.
Edgar Wright.
Patty
I remember
Jenkins
Edgar Wright because I'm sure
Guardians
that's
of the
what that's called,
Galaxy.
Mhm.
Like, I know everyone knows Patty Jenkins wrote Guardians of the
Patty
Galaxy
Jenkins.
and walked away from the fucking project because of
She
what was
did.
going on there. Like, that's just the way he operated, and that's the way he still operates. Nina said it off of this movie. She's literally in an article 3 months ago stating, I have to live with the point that this is Kevin's movie and not mine. And I have to be okay with that. The point that a director a black woman in 2022 is saying, I have to be okay with giving this big opportunity to do this movie, and this white man is controlling everything. And I have to be okay with that because Kevin is a control freak.
All right. I got a follow-up question for you guys then. So, do we protest Kevin Feige? Be real for all these actors that just don't want to work with him.
I just have something like that. My thing that's crazy with Kevin Feige is if he knows that the actual comic accurate substance and the sources will resonate well with not just Marvel fans but general audience fans as well. When the comic by page interpretation, putting it into a live action scene, what that would mean and how big it will be. And even if you're not a Marvel connoisseur or know the references and Easter eggs, just seeing the stuff come to life, why wouldn't he want to do that? Is like, because I get it. I said earlier it was capitalism and the agenda and stuff. That to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like that's not the math ain't math. And like, I don't see the brains behind Kevin Feige's. Like, why aren't you listening then?
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Breaking news. So the Marvels or Loki season 2 would not be the last Marvel content for 2023. So Disney confirmed that What If season 2 will actually be coming out during the holiday season. So yeah,
I thought that was already confirmed. They confirmed that during.
I didn't see no trailer. I didn't see no release date, and it's November.
Yeah, I see a release date. It was just talked about that they were going to give us a season 2, but we didn't know when the release date was. We did, yeah. That's what that was. So
they got to set up because eventually that's supposed to go live action, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's going to go live action eventually.
Oh, no.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, it makes sense, though, to air What If during the holidays because people are going to be home, you know?
And
people are going to be on vacation or calling off.
Marcus, yes, but we had an animation, like an anime format.
No,
so people really like that.
And at this point, Marvel is, Disney is doing what you call a dump. You need to get all of this shit out by the end of the year, so you can start off fresh. What If is like a show where technically it doesn't have to be overly connected to anything, because it's always about, hey, what if this happened? So they can always drop that whenever they see the need to. Because X-Men 97, for some odd reason, is still on hold, even though the shit is done. Makes no goddamn sense that has not dropped yet. Or Spider-Man freshman class. Also makes no sense that has not dropped yet.
Yeah.
But What If is a situation where hopefully they understand what they believe the reception is going to be for the Marvels. We need to drop something and pray people like it. Because if they don't, we're fucked going into Spanish Daredevil. Like, or Native American Daredevil, I'm sorry. Like,
I'll just say this to end this off and get people final words on this because I know like tomorrow I gotta make sure we definitely do part 2 on this and stuff because but like, I want to wait until I'm gonna do a recap of 2023 Marvel in a couple of weeks whenever God feels terms of like Loki, the film wise, and then Disney Plus and stuff. We'll cover that. But after tomorrow, I'll give you all my thoughts because the embargo won't be lifted until what, Thursday? To my
Is
knowledge.
it Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh yes. It's
Yes.
the embargo. The embargo is being held for the Marvels until the movie damn near drops in theaters. This is the first for Marvel. Marvel has never done this before. They've
Now,
held the
yes.
embargo this long. Yeah, that is ridiculous. And it's the shortest Marvel movie ever made. It's an hour and 40 minutes long.
Hour 40. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a very short movie. For Marvel.
Oh man, that's too
So
short.
yeah, we'll continue this conversation though, but I just want to give people final thoughts though. I'll start with you, Marcus.
Ladies and gents, if you want to save your money and don't want to go to a midnight premiere and regret spending $20 plus popcorn and soda or a cold pop, wait like a month. Wait like a month or two. If you want to wait that same couple days after, go on Wikipedia and read the plot. And if you really want to go, you go to those discount matinee theaters, watch it cheap for $1, cheap for a couple bucks. Save your money. Keep it simple. 30 for 30. ESPN Sports. How to not go broke. Shout out to that. So other than that, shout out to Jedi Mike, Jay King, Lucas, Jay Takashi, people in the chat, people who are going to watch this. Please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Marvel, just like there's another guy on TikTok and other viral memes saying, you need to do better. Kevin Feige, you listen to this? Kevin Feige, you need to do better, sir. Come on now. Listen, I'm not getting any younger over here, all right? I might be growing a few gray hairs, but I'm not going senile, So I just appreciate that.
You serious?
That was good. That was a good one. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate though everybody else that's been here, and I understand we have difference of opinions or perspective, but I also appreciate us breaking it down more and watching the domino effect of what was, what is, and what's coming potentially. And we still have several characters to see, both villains and heroes and others alike. So, yeah, shout out to everybody.
Thank you, Marcus. Jay Takashi, where can people find you? And your final thoughts?
All right, guys, you can find me at Jay Takashi, guys. I'm an anime reviewer. We talk about nothing but anime. We have a podcast we do almost every 3 weeks with me and the guys, me, Jericho, and Zeno, obviously, and of course Wally when he likes to join, since he's on the screen. And yeah, man, I love the content that's over here. I love that we're talking about this because this has been not a rude awakening. It's just been in the makings of happening, and it sucks personally for me because I love like I said, I love Marvel, I love DC, and I just want both parties to succeed, and just because one goes and just because certain things didn't happen the way they were supposed to, because of projects, doesn't mean that we should. I hate to say give up. We shouldn't. We should fight to have all our characters on screen. And just be able to get good stuff again. Just so we can all enjoy or watch it and have a grandiose time, even if we agree or disagree on certain things. It is what it is. Like that's the beauty of conversing with one another. All in all, if you guys are a fan of my man Jedi Mike, he does all this content right here for you guys. He does it for free, man. Listen, subscribe and like to his channel. You hear me? There's no reason why you shouldn't. Okay. And shout out to all the guys on the panel here. Lucas, brother, if you have a channel, man, please, man, give me a link in a private chat, man. You are probably one of the best critiquers or a critic that I've ever freaking met. And I need to connect with you so I can hear your thoughts on any movies outside of MCU that you've seen, because you're rocking Batman Forever shirt, and that tells me a lot. And I used to watch Batman Forever. That was my first Batman movie, surprisingly, before Michael Keaton. But yeah, man, shout out to my man Jay King, man. Shout out to Jedi Mike. And guys, I did really enjoy the freaking story of Spider-Man 2, PS5. that was probably the best story I've ever guided to from Spider-Man. Thank you so much. But with that being said, y'all, subscribe to this man's channel. I don't care. Do it now. Enough said.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Lucas.
Well, I'll start off by first saying that it was great to be here. Like, I got invited by Mike. I'm never invited by Mike to do anything. I don't know why.
Yo, he put you on blast, Mike.
The weirdest thing in the world, considering that he has a home on Team JVS whenever he wants it. Him and J King, because I'm gonna have Sam set up something where all of us can get on there to talk about Marvel and everything else, or anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything few and far between with you too, because I think that would be extremely dope. My last points about this talk is, again, I've always said it. If this is the genre of film that you like, support it. It is what it is. Everything is not going to be great. A lot of things are going to be bad. But if you want continued projects, if you want for these studios to reach and find an Invincible, find The Boys, the Deviant thing that Mike got to see during Comic-Con. If you want these type of things to come up in this type of genre, you have to support it. I'm not saying you have to like everything, but when you see these projects being made, even if you think they're going to be bad, if this is a character you like, support that character. Tune into it. I think you could be pleasantly surprised at times. I like Jonah Hex. Movie's fucking horrible, but it's entertaining. It happens. And you have to support it because you all are the people who make comic book movies happen. It's not me. It's not other critics. Like, some of us shit on these movies as much as humanly possible. I'm on Rotten Tomato talking bad about a lot of these films. But I openly admit that some things are not for me. This is for you all. That inner child in you that couldn't imagine this being happening here. This is something you need to enjoy. Sit back and watch. Everything's not going to be great, but a lot of it's going to be good, and maybe you're going to be entertained by it. So at least support it. That's my big thing here. There's no such thing as DC versus Marvel, Sony versus Marvel or Disney. Like, none of that fucking matters. The genre is what's most important, and support it. And go Morbius, because that's still a movie that I don't know why people hate.
Fuck Morbius?
Vampire movie.
Well, where to start? Where to start?
I mean, it's a horrible movie, but I mean, in the end, Morbius is a horrible character. Like, it happens. This is the stuff that you're gonna get here. But again, I can't wait to get J King on JVS chat. I think you and Sam together will be very interesting to see.
Yes, I've been saying that for a long time. Yes,
Sam loves the MCU.
I love how J King has that all by myself. He's got that face right.
For Sam is someone who loves the MCU, but can also admit that they don't do a lot. He can admit when the projects aren't good, and that's what J King reminds me of. So we're gonna try to hook this up, and again, support this channel. Subscribe, like. I'm gonna have Mike set up super chats because you shouldn't be doing this without a super chat set up. So it gives the chance for your fans to support what you do, because this is going to be a growing channel. I mean, the moment I met Mike and he came up to me and said, "I've been watching you since I was in high school." One, I felt old, but two, I thought from the first time I talked to him that this kid has it. Like, everything that I think I am, I can see him being better at. And you gotta support the channel so the content grows, so it becomes more consistent. Because when he becomes more consistent, he's going to become a monster that's going to be hard to contain.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta reach a certain milestone on the channel to get the super chats available, but we're almost there.
There you go.
But yeah, J King, are you there, man?
Mentally and emotionally, no.
Yo, stop. Yo, J King, where'd you go, brother?
Yeah, then I think he frozen. Okay, not gonna say he fell off.
Yeah, he put "that's not me" on screen. Something.
Yes.
Yo, Lucas, and to follow what you're saying, Jedi Mike is always. I've always seen this guy as like since it's crazy to say this because I'm older than him, but he feels like an older brother to me, like the one I didn't have, and I have like at least 3 others. And I've always said Jedi. I've always recommended some of my buddies to watch his channel because if they're really into the comic book genre, I've always said don't go to me, go to this cat. And the reason why is because he has the mindset and just the knowledge and the foresight to really know what he's talking about instead of like fake wannabe comic book fans that don't really know shit because they're a small minority group to begin with. So like I actually if I got my uncle on who had all the comic books, I can see him and I can see both him and Jedi having a good conversation. And he wouldn't trust me, he won't listen to anybody who knows unless you know shit from McBooks. And I think Jedi would be the person he would talk to. That's the crazy part. And he won't talk to most of anybody.
You say,
Like, he'll
Jake,
talk
you
to
do
Jedi.
anime, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you're
do
heavy
anime.
into anime.
Yes, Lucas. He and Sam.
You know,
yeah.
I was. Yeah,
Like I told y'all, Jay and Marcus, I got the plug, but yeah, I work for it. You know what I'm saying?
Team
I got you.
JVS
I got you.
Team JVS covers everything.
Yeah,
and we get access. We get early access to everything. And
What was funny was when Jedi said that he was working with JVS. I remember JVS. I think probably a little bit before Jedi. I had met Jedi and Jay, and I seen those guys around platforms. I would watch other reaction content creators, and I was like, he looks very familiar. And then when Jedi said he's working with him, I was like, oh, okay. Now I kind of get the vibe now. So, just a refreshment was there. So it's cool.
He rubs the fact that I'm in the critic association. I just got in one, and he kind of like he rubs that in my face.
Shit, you may have heard of me from the Critics Association, but I'm right here as Jedi Mike. Yeah.
Oh, it's the proudest moment of his life, Joe.
It really is.
He brings it up every opportunity he gets.
J. King said that's not me on screen. Something happened. I'm about to say like David's been looking at us like that for all day.
It's either the Critic Association or him going to Comic-Con. It's going to be one of the two.
Oh yeah,
he's going to make sure.
Next year, man, it's off the check now. I'll get better running shoes. I get better walking shoes and stuff. I make sure. I also have another spending things because I got to give this man a drink. Because he gave me one. I have to return the favor. And stuff, but I have to keep up.
He said he got better running shoes. That's nice. Pumas or Adidas?
Okay.
Listen,
he was in wingtips the entire time at Comic-Con. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen.
I was like, listen, I'm here. This is my first time. I'm gonna be on camera. I need to look presentable. I was like, no, you need to be comfortable.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember. I know Jedi Mike's gonna close the show, but you remember that scene when like Transformers in the first one, the guy's running to get the interview? I can't believe it. The guy just crashed. The aliens fucking coming. So that's Jedi right there trying to get the interview right there, the celebrity right there.
There you go. Yep.
I think we just seen him right now.
It's something about that childhood innocence of being in these type of rooms and this type of atmosphere and meeting people that I've never seen through his eyes how many people he met that he was amazed to see.
I was like,
all of these streamers that he had the opopportunity to meet when we were at Comic-Con, and I don't know any of these people, and he knows all of them.
It was people. It wasn't even like it was like other press people, like people from Collider, from Variety, from like IGN. It's like I know. Listen, it's like next time, like my wife helped me out because I'm gonna get my card. Make sure I'm networking with all y'all. I got to the folks' numbers and stuff like that. And it's like, but no, seriously, I was geeking out. Like even though we were on a strike, it was still celebrities there. Mark Ellis and Schmoes and all that. And then JVS, like, and Sam's like, I got their number. It's like, I got their number, right?
Yeah,
like,
most of those we have the connections to the studios and things.
Yeah, you got the connections. Yeah,
but again, it's hopefully to make your channel grow. That's the whole part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of us with JVS is not just to come in, pluck talent, and use them to boost our channel up. The goal is to give you the access so it boosts your channel up. So then you take that access, you take these opportunities, and even if the content doesn't end up on JVS, we don't care. It's me, Sam, and Jorge. We do content on everything humanly possible, but we will prefer you build up your own channel. The goal of this, especially in this area amongst us all, is to build as many of us as humanly possible. We all struggled to get to the point of being respected. in the DC area being critics, and all of us are at this point now that, but now we're looking down for younger people like, hey, maybe this is something you want to do. What opportunities do you need? Do you need to go to this film festival? Do you need to go to this con? Whatever we need to send you to so you can get your viewership up, your views up, and you get into the things that you think you need to get into to boost your channel up, we're all for it. Because that's how it grows. I mean, especially amongst Black folks. We look out for each other. We'll get to the point. Why is this? What the hell is going on with this nigga with the green wig on? I done see him pop in and out multiple times.
Yo, Lucas.
This is what we call hitting rock bottom. Hit rock bottom right quick.
Oh man, it threw me off.
Shout out to Loki.
Basically, end the show.
I need some honest opinion. Are y'all really loving Loki as a show, or do like people just say that just to say that?
No,
come on, Loki. I want you to
it's
speak.
all right. It's actually no. I'm like I fuck with this show. Is it like the best thing ever? No, Gen V Invincible.
No, not the best thing ever, but it's
definitely.
good.
It's a top
It's
tier.
definitely
It's like
good.
Sam in the reviews, like Mike. Do you think Gen V is better than some Disney? Like, is the no Gen V was the best thing that's gone now. Now Invincible is the best thing that's going right now. Like,
Jedi Mike, I actually haven't started Gen V. I heard that it didn't. The last episode popped the other day, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last episode. Okay, so now I can binge watch it now. Thank God.
Yeah, no, you're like my wife. My wife
Invisible.
didn't like because my wife did not. We first watched like the first few episodes, like we're all like in this like group chat when we watch things early, and it's like, well, my wife's like, no, I need to binge it. And I'm like, no, you understand, like this is a privilege. So it's like sometimes
Okay.
like you know, sometimes
see, the crazy thing is,
as a critic,
watch
like
quickly.
no, seriously,
So,
as a critic, like you want to be like, oh, I want to binge it, but they only give you like 2 episodes, nigga. Like you gotta be patient, you know.
Yeah. They
Dude,
try
it's the
they
same
try
thing with
their best.
Invisible. Invisible, it comes out every week, once a week. So you gotta I hate that sometimes, but but it's a real anime. That's an anime thing. So I'm used to that. So not a problem.
I may try to give Loki
you
a
and Sam
try.
you and Sam would definitely go because
Sam does a
anime.
lot of anime content, and we get a lot of anime content. I just don't do Chinese cartoons too much. But Sam,
the Chinese, the Chinese ones. Trust me, people don't even speak about those. And if he's doing those, that's what's going to get him noticed because a lot of people don't even talk about them. They just talk about the regular, like just the one that the Japanese put out. I actually bring up like at least 3 or 4 or 5, but my ex,
like when we went to, I want to say like 3 months ago when we saw the Boy in a Harem and how excited he was to interview the directors and the director of that project. Like that's Sam. Sam is in love with anime and he tries to get me to watch it. And I say, hey, we can always bring in other people that like anime that can review this with you.
Yeah,
I'm not that person.
Right.
Yes,
so,
sir.
like I said, y'all, we network and everything.
Okay.
No,
I don't know what that was.
That's awesome.
But anyway, but again, but before we get to last, with J King, I don't know what happened. But yeah,
what?
Also, to make sure you guys, you can check out a new episode of J King.
Huh? What?
Say your piece, my friend. Say your piece.
Wow.
All right, thank you for tuning in to Jedi Mind 7 Review Show. We'll see you guys in the next.
Hey, hold up.
Look at God.
No. You ain't gonna just snap me away. All right.
Okay. Got you.
Damn. Look, I said all I needed to say during this stream. I said practically everything when it comes to the topics. I'm still again, I know things haven't been great lately, but I'm just in the camp of look, they can get better. They should get better. We should strive for them to get better. And even if other people are going to get off the ride, I'll still wait until the ride actually is like done. So that's just me. In terms of everything else, been loved Gen V, loving Invincible so far. Can't wait for some certain things to get adapted. And yeah, well, I guess we'll just see. I guess next talk will be when Loki ends and when the Marvels happen. So I guess that'll be a whole discussion. Don't know if I'm really ready for that, but okay.
No, it's okay. He'll be watching it with me and my wife. So it's like on Friday. So we'll be in Maryland. So don't worry. So no, we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time.
Oh wait, J King is local.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Wait,
Yes.
don't you live in the same area?
Yes, in Maryland. In Maryland.
Okay.
Oh man.
Wait,
I
you're
should've known that.
wait, Jedi. Wait, Jedi. Hold on. You're in Maryland. I thought you were in DC.
I'm in the DMV. We're all local.
Okay.
It's all the same area. Man, I wish I didn't know that, J
He would
King.
say, like, I'm
Yeah.
in Maryland. I'm like, what?
We could have possibly set you up to come with us to the screening tomorrow. See,
Yeah,
like
like
information.
I've been local the entire time. Like hell, you could probably ask Sam this. I don't know if he'll remember this, but it was 2017. I actually ran into him for a signing for that Miles adult novel.
Oh yes, I remember that.
That was his
Mhm.
uncle.
Was there.
Or that was his uncle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was uncle who did the comic book and everything. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have connections. Yeah.
You've only said that like 4 times this stream, Jedi. We get it. You got some connects.
I'm
We
showing
appreciate
this
you.
I'm showing this that black man can network. It's not a myth, it's reality.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, we'll connect J King more.
I love
than
that right
Mike
there.
Lets on
Yeah.
because it's
Gotcha.
no need.
Jedi Mike.
Especially
Jedi
in
Mike
this
Unfiltered
area?
Network.
Come on, man. We can get this. We could get this.
No, but yeah, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Tune into Saturday on our show at 8:30 as well. And until next time, I'll give you make sure you hit notification bell and videos we're dropping. I still got videos from Comic-Con. I'm still editing and posting on here and also on Team JVS. So make sure you guys all subscribe to Team JVS as well on YouTube, on Instagram, TikToks, and all that stuff as well. All right, till next time. Peace, family. God bless. We are.
Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.